Live on a Wednesday night at Utah Grizzlies hockey, as it's the only meeting this season between the Grizzlies and the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting. Welcome to a Wednesday night of Utah Grizzlies hockey. It's the third of a six-game road trip for Utah as the Grizz look for their first win in the month of February. They're taking on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits for only the second time ever and the first time since February 1st of 2020. We'll talk about that matchup that happened 3 years ago later on in the program. For the Grizzlies, they lost forward Brandon Cutler to an AHL call-up as he went to the Colorado Eagles. Cutler actually scored a goal for Colorado last night. It was the only goal scored by the Eagles. They lost to Bakersfield. But Brandon Cutler's been outstanding for the Grizzlies as of late. He's got a point in 9 of his last 10 games with the Grizzlies. And really, he's been outstanding for the Grizz since coming back from the AHLs. He now will be playing with his third different AHL team, as this will be his fourth team with the AHL. So the Grizzlies are going to be without Brandon Cutler. However, they get two key forwards back from injury as they get Dakota Raby back after missing 5 straight games. He'll be in the Grizzlies lineup. And the Grizzlies also get back forward Vladislav Mikalchuk, who missed 12 games due to an injury as he got hurt on January 14th against the Idaho Steelheads. And Mikalchuk returns to the Grizzlies lineup tonight. Should be an interesting goaltending matchup. Lucas Preek will get the start in net for the Grizzlies, and he'll be going up against David Rennick. Rennick wearing number 34. It will be the first time he'll face the Grizzlies, and really there's not a lot of familiar names on that Greenville club. In fact, there's only one former Grizzly on the Greenville roster, and it's Miles Gendron, who just happens to be a scratch tonight. So the Grizzlies don't know a whole lot about the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, and Greenville doesn't know a whole lot about the Utah Grizzlies, so it should be an interesting matchup. Remember, it's the only meeting between these clubs this year, as the Grizzlies will be in Savannah on Friday night. Face-off of that game will be at 5:30 in the Mountain Time Zone. And then the Grizzlies will take on the Orlando Solar Bears for a 2-game set on Sunday at 1 p.m. and then Monday at 5 o'clock. So it's going to be interesting as the Grizzlies look for their first win on the road trip, as Utah's got a record of 19-24-2 and 40 standings points. The Greenville Swamp Rabbits have won 3 in a row. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games, and they've got a record of 26-12-7 on the season. Greenville's played a ton of one-goal games this season as they played 45 games this year, 27 of them. 27 of 45 games have been decided by one goal. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. It's the Grizzlies and the Swamp Rabbits as Utah gets Dakota Raby and Vladislav Mikalchuk back from injuries. And we'll see if either of those guys will be the Optum Healthcare first goal of the game. And with Optum, they put you at the center of everything that we do. Optum is committed to making healthcare work better, leading the way to better experiences, better health, and lower costs for you. So go to the Grizzlies live chat and tell us who's going to be the Optum first goal of the game. And it should be an interesting one as the Grizzlies take on the Swamp Rabbits as we're in business on a Wednesday night. And you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies pregame report presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. Let's get to the starting lineups for both teams. First for the visiting Utah Grizzlies, led by second-year head coach Ryan Kanasowicz. His assistant is Jared Pike. The Grizzlies have a record of 19-24-2 this season. They are 10-13-2 on the road. Starting in net for the Grizzlies will be Lucas Preek. He'll be making his 13th appearance this season. Lucas has a record of 4-8 with one shutout, a 3.58 goals against average, and even .900 save percentage. Lucas is 6'4" and 195 pounds. It's his second year as a pro. He's a former draft pick of the Los Angeles Kings. In fact, Los Angeles is the NHL affiliate to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, the Grizzlies' opponent tonight. The starting defensive pairing, Connor McDonald, the Grizzlies' captain, has 9 points in 39 games. He'll be paired up with Aaron Tho, who last Saturday was the Optum first goal of the game winner. As Tho has 1 goal in a Grizzlies uniform, he's got 8 points in 40 games with 3 different clubs this season. The other defensemen we're expected to see tonight include James Shearer, the former Brandon Wheat Kings captain, and Andrew Nilsson, who leads the Grizzlies with 35 points this season. We'll also see Bryson Martin wearing number 14, the former third-round pick of the Buffalo Sabres, and he'll be paired up with Kyle Pouncey, who's got 7 points in 40 games. So the starting defensive pairing is Tho and McDonald. We'll also see Shearer, Nilsson, Martin, and Pouncey. The Grizzlies going with 16 skaters, 6 defensemen, 10 forwards. The starting forwards for the Grizzlies, Dylan Fitz, who's got 8 goals and 7 assists in 45 games. He'll be wearing number 13. He'll be one starter. The starting center is Tyler Penner, the Grizzlies Iron Man, who's making his 118th consecutive regular season appearance for the Grizzlies. Penner, 45 games this year, has 8 goals and 5 assists. He had 1 assist last Saturday in Rapid City. And Taryn Fizer, who's got 12 goals in the season, which is second on the club. He has 14 assists, and he's played in 35 games. Fizer will be wearing number 8. So the starting forwards are Fitz, Penner, and Fizer. We'll also see Dakota Raby back after he missed 5 straight games. In fact, you think about the impact of Dakota Raby. In the month of January, the Grizzlies went 8-3-1. But remember, in the final game in January, he got hit up high by one of the Helgeson brothers of Rapid City in the second period. Oddly enough, the Helgeson brother didn't get suspended, just as Kenton Helgeson did not get suspended for the hit on Johnny Walker. Well, Walker's out of the Grizzlies lineup, and Kenton Helgeson gets to play for Rapid City in his next game. Nevertheless, Dakota Raby's back after missing 5 straight games. He's got 20 points in 40 games this season. Keaton Jamison, I was thinking about Kenton Helgeson, but Keaton Jamison has 17 points in 44 games. He'll be in the Grizzlies lineup. And Cameron Wright, who leads the Grizzlies with 13 goals this season, Wright will be in the lineup. We'll also see Christian Simeone, the second-year pro out of Merrimack. He'll be lined up next to Cam Strong, who's wearing number 26, and the Rooster, Jordan Martell, who has 21 points in 37 games. We'll also see Vladislav Mikalchuk back after missing 12 straight games. There wasn't anything broken to his body, but he did get a big bruise after when he got hit by Zach Walker on January 14th. So Mikalchuk is back in the Grizzlies lineup tonight. We mentioned before the starting forwards are Fitz, Penner, and Fizer. We'll also see Raby, Jamison, Wright, along with Simeone, Strong, Martell, and Mikalchuk. So the scratches for the Grizzlies tonight. Johnny Walker is out after he got hit by a cross-check to the back of the neck by Kenton Helgeson. Helgeson got a major penalty and a game misconduct, but he did not get suspended. And after further review, he should have gotten suspended for what was a deliberate cheap shot on Johnny Walker. So the Worm's going to be out of the Grizzlies lineup. We'll also not see Zach Sekos tonight as he's out once again. Sekos has 16 points in 19 games. Also out of the Grizzlies lineup is Victor Bartley, who just had a kid who was born recently. Congratulations to the Bartley family. Corey Thomas is out due to injury, and Joey Kolatarsi is also out for the Grizzlies. If you didn't catch the news earlier this week, Brandon Cutler was called up to the AHL's Colorado Eagles. He actually scored a goal for Colorado last night. Goaltender Trent Miner also recalled to the Colorado Eagles, so he's in the AHL right now. And earlier this week, the Grizzlies released defenseman Jordan Stone. Now the starting lineup for the homestanding Greenville Swamp Rabbits, who are led by head coach Andrew Lord. His assistant is Mason Baptista. Greenville's got a record of 26-12-7 this season. They've been pretty good at home with a record of 14-4-4 over at Bon Secure's Wellness Arena. That's where the Swamp Rabbits and Grizzlies are meeting tonight. I'm over here in the lobby at Maverick Center, just hanging out on a Wednesday evening, and hopefully we'll have a good video feed to describe the game, but it's the first time I've seen it. As when the Grizzlies were at the Swamp Rabbits 3 years ago, I was in the arena, and it was certainly an outstanding hockey game. We'll talk about that later on. The starting goaltender for Rapid City is David Rennick, who is 6'2" and 194 pounds. Rennick spells his last name Hrenak. He's got a record of 12-8-3 this season with a 3.10 goals against average and .898 save percentage. Rennick has an NHL entry-level contract with the LA Kings. He's a former fifth-round pick back in 2018 of the LA Kings. He's also got some experience over in the AHL with the Ontario Reign. So Rennick will be the starting goaltender. Ryan Bednard will be his backup. The starting defensive pairing, Max Martin, who played last season with the Idaho Steelheads. He also has some AHL experience with the Texas Stars. Martin currently has an ECHL contract. He's 6 feet and 194 pounds. He's been a good defenseman this year as he has a +11 rating and 6 goals and 22 assists. So Max Martin, who's going to be wearing number 10, is one starting defenseman. He'll be paired up with Bobby Russell, who this season has no goals and 10 assists in 36 games. Russell will be wearing number 21. He is 6 feet and 187 pounds. The starting forwards, Dallas Gerads, Gerads. He'll be wearing number 12. He's got 4 goals and 7 assists in 32 games. Ben Freeman is one starting forward. He's wearing number 24. He's 6'5" and 215 pounds. So he's got great size, and he has 4 goals and 14 assists in 39 games. And Anthony Beauchamp, who in 21 games this year has 3 goals and 4 assists. The guy to watch out for in the Greenville Swamp Rabbits is Alex Irolo. Irolo has actually been amazing for Greenville this season. He's been one of the best rookies in the league. He's tied for 4th in the league in assists with 36, and he's tied for 6th in points with 53. So watch out for Alex Irolo, Ierullo. And he's a +22 this season. He'll be wearing number 14 for the Swamp Rabbits, so watch out for him when he's got the puck, as it looks like he's doing some dangerous things. Josh McKechnie's been a hot hockey player as of late. He's got 24 points in 39 games. He'll wear number 17. And Tanner Eberle is one forward to watch out for on the Greenville side. He's got 19 goals in 36 games. So looks like it's a pretty good Greenville club. Obviously, the Grizzlies are not very familiar with them. It was February 1st of 2020, which was the last time the Grizzlies met the Swamp Rabbits and the only time these teams have met until tonight. Utah won that game 6-4, but it was crazy because the Grizzlies took a 4-0 lead in the first period, and then Greenville responded with 4 unanswered goals in the second period. Then the Grizzlies got a lead as Mitch Maxwell redirected a Yuri Torreo shot with 2:33 left in regulation to give the Grizz a 5-4 lead, and then Ty Lewis added an empty netter at the end to secure a victory for Utah. Martin Wallette got the victory in net for the Grizz as he stopped 34 of 38, and the Grizzlies got goals from 6 different players. Josh Dickinson had 3 assists, and Kevin Davis had 2 assists for the Grizzlies. So we'll see what happens here tonight as the Grizzlies take on the Swamp Rabbits, and Utah trying to end a 5-game losing streak. For the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, they've won 3 in a row, and they've got a record of 26-12-7. When we come back, we'll have face-off over at Bon Secure's Wellness Arena. It's the Grizzlies and the Swamp Rabbits, and face-offs coming up next on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Expectations here will always remain high, and we'll continue to find a way.
guys put together a lot of good games, you know.
It's a great night for hockey as two big standings points are on the line tonight as the Grizzlies take on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits for the only time this season. I'm Tyson Whiting. The Grizzlies are looking to end a 5-game losing streak as they had an outstanding month of January with a record of 8-3-1. However, the Grizzlies are winless in 5 straight games in February, and we'll see if the Grizzlies can get back on the winning track here tonight. In net will be Lucas Preek, who's making his 13th appearance this season. He's got a record of 4-8. He is 6'4" and 195 pounds. It'll be interesting to see what Dakota Raby does in his first game back after missing 5 straight games, and I don't think it's any coincidence that the Grizzlies really played well when he was in the lineup, and the Grizzlies struggled without him. So I think the Grizzlies saw the value in Dakota Raby when he wasn't in there the last 4 games. Before sustaining an injury on January 28th, he was an Ironman for the Grizzlies, appearing in every game. We'll also see Vladislav Mikalchuk back for the first time after missing 12 straight contests, and we'll see him wearing number 25 for the Grizzlies this evening. So it should be a lot of fun, the Grizzlies and the Swamp Rabbits. And you think about Greenville, they played a ton of close games this season. In fact, 27 of the 45 games played by Greenville this year have been decided by 1 goal. Draws at center ice. Tyler Penner's taking it against Ben Freeman as the Grizzlies will be skating from right to left as we see it on Flow Sports. Your mind's eye see it on YouTube. Grizzlies win the draw, and we're underway. Utah wearing a white jersey with black numbers, professional green trim, and Greenville wearing an orange jersey with a little bit of blue mixed in and white. As Grizzlies having the near side, though, will bounce it off the Swamp Rabbit, who feeds it out to center ice. As Greenville gains the line, lefty shot, saved by Preek. Rebound taken by McDonald. As Connor over on the far side will lift it high into the air, goes to center ice, glove by Fitz. Fitz trying to feed it over to Pfizer at the Greenville line, and the Swamp Rabbits pick it off. As Greenville skates from left to right as we see it on Flow Sports, as they feed a pass ahead, and it doesn't connect, no icing, as Grizzlies towards the near side. James Scher chips it ahead. Puck bounced off a Swamp Rabbit. Scher has it deeper in the Grizzlies zone. He'll throw it back to the corner where the Grizzlies have it. Keaton Jamison gets spun around as the puck's in the Grizzlies zone along the near boards. Puck squirts towards the right circle, taken by Cameron Wright, who leads all league rookies with 163 shots. Over to Shearer. It gets out to center ice, but Greenville takes it back. Now it's taken by Dakota Raby. Raby skates down the right circle and looks to center it out in front, but nobody was home as he just fed it towards the crease. And now it's taken by Greenville's Ethan Kapp, number 22. He'll throw it back to the near side by Irulo, who's Greenville's best player and leading scorer, as the Swamp Rabbits will escape their zone, cross center ice. They get double teamed, and Raby cuts him off and takes the puck away. Over to Bryson Martin, who crosses center ice and dumps it in. Greenville along the near boards gets it, and they'll feed it back behind the net. Lord Anthony Grissom will move it towards the far side. He played with Allen earlier this year as the Swamp Rabbits. Kemp skates towards the left circle. He looks to center it, and Grizzlies hold him up. Now Greenville with a shot, and it's blocked. Now Greenville looking for another look. Brennan McManus, as the puck goes towards the left circle. Now back up top as the Swamp Rabbits. Somebody off the screen left side takes a shot that fires wide off the end wall. Now Greenville towards the right side. Utah gets tripped up. No calls. It's taken back by Greenville. They'll skate towards our left, and they'll take a lefty shot. Saved by Preek, because that last shot was taken by Tanner Eberle, who's got 19 goals this season. So he holds on as we get a whistle with 18:08 left in the first. We're just underway, so sit back, get a beverage of your choice, enjoy this Wednesday night of hockey with us. An early start here in the Mountain Time Zone as the draw is going to be in the Grizzly zone in the right circle. As Greenville with an orange jersey, but the numbers aren't easy to spot. There's a little bit of white and blue mixed in. Greenville wins the draw. They skate around. They put the puck around the net as it goes towards the left corner. As Cam Strong in the area, puck ends up back with McDonald, who battles with the Swamp Rabbit. Tho moves it ahead to the far side as Greenville towards the left side, skates towards the circle, centering pass, shot, and it goes wide. Puck glides towards the right corner. Utah delivers a hit. Now right side, shot by Lord Anthony Grissom. And it looked like he either went wide or Preek made the save, as unfortunately my screen is kind of glitchy a little bit here to start as we get a whistle with 17:44 left here in the first period. So we're just underway. It looks like dogs are in attendance over in Greenville. It looks like a few of man's best friend is over there. That's a cute-looking dog that they got on the video screen there. As Ben Freeman will take the draw for Greenville. He might be the Swamp Rabbits' biggest player at 6'5" and 215 pounds. He'll go up against the Iron Man. Draw one by Greenville as the Swamp Rabbits out towards the high slot. Fire a shot and saved by Preek. Lucas holds on, 17:35 left in the first. There's still no score. And for the Grizzlies, just looking to find a way to get something going here early in the game. As after all, the Grizzlies have only scored first in 15 of 45 games this season. Greenville scored first in 25 of the 45 games this year. As it draws over in the right circle, and we'll do it over again as Greenville gets the guy kicked out of the circle. Tyler Penner will take the draw against Justin Nutbar, number 29. Draw won by the Grizzlies. They skate towards the far side. Utah will clear the zone as it goes back to center ice, bounced off a Swamp Rabbit as Greenville back in their zone as Dylan Fitz left wing shot and it goes wide. Grizzlies towards the right side gets it taken away as Greenville will skate towards center ice. They cross center. Now the Swamp Rabbits gain the line. They feed a right wing pass. It goes wide and the Grizzlies get blasted along the boards over in the corner. Greenville skates over the offensive zone. Justin Nutbar. He loses the puck over in the left corner as the Swamp Rabbits swing it back towards the right side as now Greenville around the net as they're being shadowed by James Shearer as the Swamp Rabbits skate out towards the right side as Greenville, right wing shot goes wide, or it might have been a pass. My screen's glitching too much to know. As Pfizer crosses center ice, Greenville gets it back. Now the puck's deep in the Swamp Rabbit zone, but it's taken back by Max Martin, wearing number 10, former Idaho Steelhead. This goes back towards the near side, and the puck goes to center ice. Grizzlies skate back in. Dakota Raby to the right side, stops to the point, feeds across to Jamison. He'll take a shot that's wide. Cameron Wright around the net as he gets hit by Ethan Kapp. Is right in the right corner, looks to center it, but puck goes across. Now we got a whistle. 16:05 left in the first, and my goodness, the screen was glitching so much it was tough to really tell what's going on. So we apologize to those while listening to the game on YouTube. Well, I hate internet when it's not working. That's, I guess, one of the bugaboos about these remote broadcasts. The draw, I believe, is going to be in the Swamp Rabbit zone as Grizzlies were able to sustain offensive zone time. That's going to be a power play for the Grizzlies. Not sure what happened, but it looks like a penalty on Greenville. So the Grizzlies are on the power play with 16:05 left in the first as Keaton Jamison will take the draw. Grizzlies this season, 19.7% on the power play, 16th best in the league. Grizzlies win the face-off. Wright tries to feed it out in front to Pfizer, make that Jamison. Jamison gets it back and still spin it to the left side for Cameron Wright. Wright surveys, trying to get it back to Nilsson. It bounced off a Swamp Rabbit and goes out to neutral ice. Grizzlies will back it out into their own end as Andrew Nilsson, who's got 23 power play points this season, crosses center ice. They'll feed over to the right side. Swamp Rabbits take it away. Greenville skates towards the left side. They get checked over by Utah, and that's Cam Strong. Puck goes back to Pfizer. Pfizer around towards Strong, wearing number 26. Now Nilsson gets it. He'll throw it back towards the left side for Pfizer. Darren will get it over to center ice for Cameron Wright, who skates down the middle. Wright gains the line, skates towards the left side, gets it back towards Strong, who tried to feed the left point and got there to Nilsson. Andrew gets it back to the right side. Greenville gets it. They'll toss it ahead. Puck goes deep in the Grizzlies zone. Preek behind his net will feed it towards the far side. Halfway through Utah's first power play of the game, about 5 minutes in, still no score. As Nilsson skates down the middle, he'll throw it across to Pfizer, gains center ice, left wing will get it to Strong. I'll try to get it back towards Pfizer, and Lord Anthony Grissom got a stick in the way as the Swamp Rabbits clear it out. Chasing after it is Bryson Martin as the Grizzlies make a line change 5 minutes in as Martin will skate down the middle. Now he'll cross center ice and get it to Raby as the screen's glitching so much as Raby skates towards the left side, back towards Martin. Greenville clears it out. I wonder if all the audience on Flow Sports sees the same screen I'm seeing as Martin skates down the middle. He'll throw it over to the right side. Grizz cross center. Utah skates down the middle. They gain the offensive line towards the left side. They'll chip it towards the corner, but the Roosters' pass gets picked off, and Greenville clears it out towards Preek, who plays it just in front of his crease. 10 seconds left in the Grizzlies' power play. As they get it over to Bryson Martin on the left side, he skates down the middle wearing number 14. Long-range pass deep in the Swamp Rabbit zone. Utah spins it back towards the left side for Tho. He gets it down the middle. Martin will take a lefty shot. Saved by Rennick. Goes to the left side for Tho. He'll get it back across, and Utah to the right point as we're back to 5-on-5 skating. Dylan Fitz spins it towards the near boards. Aaron Tho gets cut off, so he couldn't play it, and now he'll have to chase back deep in his own zone to get it. He'll throw a left wing pass out to neutral ice. Grizzlies re-enter as Utah towards the left point. Dakota Raby bouncing off a Swamp Rabbit. It goes back to center ice. As Connor McDonald back in his own zone, the Grizzlies captain, will feed it back to the right side for Tho. It will chip it off the far boards as Utah got spun around at center ice. Puck goes deep in the Swamp Rabbits zone. Outlet pass by Greenville. They re-enter the zone as they drop it off to the right circle. Now back to the left side. One-timer, saved by Parikh. Rebound goes back to Utah. Vladislav Mikalchuk. Good to see him back on the ice as he missed a month worth of action. As it goes back to Greenville, out to center ice. They skate from left to right. As the Swamp Rabbits out towards center left wing, they'll dump it in, but it bounced off of Mikalchuk, and the Swamp Rabbits try to carry it back in. They're offside. 13:02 left in the first. Time out on the ice. We'll take one as well. No score over at Bon Secure's Wellness Arena. Utah's 0 for 1 on the power play. Greenville yet to take one. To get a power play of their own, we're back in 30 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
No score over at Bon Secure's Wellness Arena as I'm wearing the Grizzlies Fight Cancer jersey that they are wearing next week against the Allen Americans. Tim Broussard has joined us here on a Wednesday night. He just learned about traffic driving in from the Ogden area. Tim, good first segment of play for the Grizzlies. Still no score.
No, nothing. At least you're not giving away too much on defense, and you got a few offensive opportunities. And so hopefully this will continue on the rest of the first period.
Back to live action. Greenville wins the neutral zone draw. They were called for offside, I believe, before the timeout. Out to neutral ice. Swamp Rabbits back to Grizzlies territory. Now they get it as they cross center ice. Greenville's got good team speed, it looks like, as Dallas Gerards feeds over to the left side. Lefty shot saved by Parikh, and he holds on as there's 12:40 left in the first period. Greenville wearing an orange jersey with a little bit of blue and white mixed in. Looks like blue lettering and kind of a white horizontal stripe in the middle of the jersey. So it looks like it's going to be a fun one here this evening. The Grizzlies and Swamp Rabbits. Drads takes the draw against Jamison in the Grizzlies zone. Looks like a lot of action has been in the Grizzlies zone here in the first 7 minutes of play. Jamison's kicked out of the faceoff circle, and so is Drads. Now taking the draw is going to be Cameron Wright against Greenville's Justin Nakbar, who leads their club with 89 penalty minutes on the season. Or Nakbar, draw won by Greenville. They won a lot of draws here early on as Andrew Nilsson battles with Greenville in the zone. Nilsson spins them around. It goes back to Jamison. Greenville keeps it in the left point. They fire a shot and fan on it. Jamison in the area. Puck goes to the high slot. Greenville skates in, but the puck exits the zone. And when Drads tried to get it back in, he was called for offside, and he's very upset at the referee. As the two referees tonight, Tyler Haskell and Jack Young. The linesmen are Scott Singer, Senger, and Brady Fagan. Third game of the road trip for the Grizzlies. They'll be back at Maverick Center for a Bud Light College night on Wednesday, February 22nd, so 7 days from now. Draws at neutral ice near the Grizzlies bench, and it's won by Utah's Bryson Martin back in his own zone. He'll bounce it off the near boards. Grizzlies getting out to center. Puck lifts in the air. Greenville gets it in their own zone. Now they'll chip it over Dylan Fitz's head as Martin moves it ahead for the Grizz. Now Utah dumps it in, does Tyler Penner. Taken back by Max Martin wearing number 10. Max, don't call me Ned. As the Swamp Rabbits cross center ice, they gain the line. Ethan Kopp skates towards the corner, drops off to the left point. Swamp Rabbits feeding out in front and bounces off the stick. Bryson Martin gets it and clears it out to center. Greenville throws it towards the near side, and it's taken by Carter Such, number 18, as the Swamp Rabbits will drop it over for Bobby Russell, number 21. He'll throw it out to center ice. The pass goes between the legs of Ethan Kapp. Grizzlies get it back. They'll skate around Parikh's net. His backup tonight is Garrett Metcalf as it goes towards the right side. Grizz chip it over to Taryn Pfizer. Pfizer skates towards the far side. Puck still in the Grizzlies zone. Now it goes back to Bryson Martin on the near side. He'll chip it off the glass, and it goes past Tyler Penner towards the Greenville blue line. Swamp Rabbits get it back. They gain center ice, and they'll bounce it in, but only towards the Utah blue line. Grizz will chip it ahead. Christian Simeone chases after it. Puck goes back to Greenville as Utah battles Aaron Tho, gets it near his bench. He'll bounce it off of Mikalchuk. Those guys were teammates in Greenville 2 years ago. Now Greenville skates towards the right side. Kemp takes a shot, saved by Parikh. Puck rolls back. Now centering pass all alone. Lefty shot, saved by Parikh, and he holds on as Tanner Eberle was wide open down the middle as he got a centering pass cut in, had a grade A look, and Lucas Parikh made the save. Unfortunately, here in the first 9 minutes, looks like Greenville's had more offensive zone time than we have.
Yeah, a little bit on tilted ice. The opportunities are few for the Grizzlies, but Greenville's yet to capitalize on anything, and honestly, they haven't been able to set up 2 or 3 passes in a row. But it is concerning that they've had the time of possession in our end.
Brett Kemp takes a draw against Cam Strong, who played with South Carolina last year and played a lot of games against the Swamp Rabbits. As Greenville wins the draw over to the left side, Swamp Rabbits face it towards the left circle, looking for Kemp as he gets it poked away by Tho. Now Strong gets it, bouncing off a Swamp Rabbit stick. Greenville gets it. They feed it over to the right side for Eberle. He'll take a shot, saved by Parikh. Now another righty shot from the slot, saved by Parikh as well. Brett Kemp gets it. He throws it towards Eberle. He'll take a lefty shot, saved by Parikh. Puck goes to the left circle. McDonald battles. Now another Swamp Rabbit gets it. They feed it over to the high slot, but somebody skated back towards the right side, so the puck exits the zone. Greenville gets it back as they'll bounce it off the right boards. Now they look to feed it out in front. Sharp angled shot, saved by Parikh. And Lucas holds on. He's been sharp here in the first half of the first period as Brandon McManus was cutting towards the net. He's got 6 goals this season in 33 games. And really, you think about that feeling out process is obviously these teams are not familiar with each other. In fact, the Grizzlies haven't even faced a lot of these guys. I mean, Max Martin used to play for Idaho. But other than that, Lord Anthony Grissom, Grizzlies saw him a couple games with Allen, but, not a lot of unfamiliar faces on the Greenville side and vice versa. There's a lot of these guys on the Utah side that haven't faced the Swamp Rabbits. Utah wins the draw. Dakota Raby feeds out to center ice, and great to see him back after missing 5 straight games as the puck deflects into the Greenville bench as we're about halfway through the first period. In fact, 10:01 is left in the first frame as the Grizzlies. This is game 46 of the regular season, and you think about it, the regular season ends on April 15th. So we got exactly 2 months left in the regular season. Jamison will take the draw against Ben Freeman. Freeman wins the faceoff. Boy, Greenville's kind of tilted the faceoff wins as they'll dump it in, no icing. Swamp Rabbits towards the right side. Grizz get it with Raby. First full season as a pro out of Michigan. This goes back to Greenville at their blue line. They skate from left to right as we see it on Flow Sports. As the Swamp Rabbits cross center ice, and they'll drive it around the boards. Goes back to the right corner as Andrew Nilsson gets hit. As Greenville battles with 2 Utah players, Jamison and Raby. Puck goes towards Nilsson. He feeds it back towards Raby. It bounced off his stick towards the near side. As Greenville skates in, they look to center it out in front towards Gerads, and it goes wide. Left point. Greenville with a shot in his block. Now the Swamp Rabbits get it back. Lefty shot, saved by Parikh. Rebound shot, saved by Parikh again. As it looked like Ben Freeman had the second look, but Lucas, he's been busy so far, but it looks like Parikh's got his A game here in the first 11 minutes of play.
Yeah, the good news is he's seeing the puck. The bad news is the amount of times he's having to see the puck. Greenville's making some sweeping cycle motions coming through there, and they're getting a lot of effectiveness with their wings coming in and picking up the garbage left over from the other, and they're just able to keep, even more so that time of possession just counting on in their favor. The bend not break type of mentality, you can only bend so much. So hopefully the Grizzlies can start getting an offensive push and, relieve some of this, offensive thrust from Greenville.
And that's what it looks like right now, kind of a bend but don't break mentality for the Grizzlies. Don't forget the Utah Grizzlies hockey is brought to you by Rio Tinto Kennecott, providing premier American copper and proudly celebrating 120 years of operations in the Utah community. No score, 9:17 left in the first. As Greenville, I'd have to see the numbers. Looks like the Swamp Rabbits have outshot the Grizzlies 9-3 here so far. Utah's had 1 power play as Russell got 2 minutes for holding, 3:55 in. As the draws give me the Grizzlies zone, Tyler Penner against Brett Kemp. Kemp's got 11 goals and 11 assists in 23 games. He's kicked out of the circle. Carter Such will take the draw. He's got 17 points in 40 games. Such wearing number 18. Swamp Rabbits win the draw. Skate towards the left circle. Shot and it's blocked. As Greenville towards the far side, bounces it off of Parikh. Now the Grizz get it. They skate from right to left. Left wing pass to Fitz. Fitz skates towards the left circle. Take a righty shot. Saved by Rennick. And it looks like the rebound goes wide. Somehow Rennick was able to cover it. Either he covered it up or shot went wide. The screen kind of froze. So we were tough. It's tough to track the puck as there's 9:02 left in the first. Looks like dogs are in attendance over in Greenville. We got some good-looking dogs. So that is what they've shown here from the first 11 minutes worth of action. as we're making sure Tim didn't kick the internet cord again.
Just like old times.
Just like old times. Greenville wins the draw. They throw it out towards the Utah blue line. Taken back by Connor McDonald. We're having some fun on a Wednesday night. McDonald throws it towards the near side. Simeone from the blue line fires a shot, and Rennick makes the save on one bounce as the Grizz will get an offensive zone draw out of it with 8:11 left during the first period. As it's going to be interesting to see, if the Grizzlies can generate those shots like they did there. I mean, Simeone, even though it didn't look like much from the left point, but he at least got the Grizzlies an offensive zone draw. And it's fun to see the Swamp Rabbits in their jerseys. 3 years ago when the Grizzlies were there, it was one of those Marvel-themed specialty jerseys. As Cam Strong will take the draw. And looked like Josh McKechnie took the face-off, and he skated towards the bench as the linesman forgot to drop the puck. The linesman's hearing it from both sides. Now Strong will take the draw against McKechnie, who might have needed a new stick. As a face-off won by Greenville, they're in their own zone, skating from left to right as they'll throw it out towards center ice. Greenville kicks it to the right side as the Swamp Rabbits towards the right circle, stops. They look to center, and it bounced off a stick. Utah loses the stick and wants a penalty, none to be had. As Grizz thrown out to center, Lord Anthony Grissom gets it and drives it back in. As Aaron Tho will skate behind Utah's net and feed it back to McDonald, back to Tho. Tho will ricochet off the far side as Greenville gets it. They skate towards the left side. They'll skate in, shot saved by Preek. Rebound goes out to the right wing. Now a signing pass, and Preek pokes it away from Alex Irulo. Boy, great play by Preek as Greenville's still in the offensive zone. They'll bounce it off the near boards, taken back by Max Martin, who's got 6 goals this season. He'll drop it back to the point as Greenville over on the right side. They get it back up top for Martin. He skates towards his left. He takes a shot, and there's a lot of traffic out in front as Utah blocks it. As the Grizz carried out of the zone, Tho gets tripped up. Now Strong gets it. He'll cross center ice and dumps it to the left corner. Utah chases after as they make a line change. Raby in the area, and Raby's about as fast as it comes in a Grizzlies uniform. This puck goes back to the corner for Raby. He gets hit. Now Greenville towards the near side. Will feed it across as Greenville's still in their own zone. Bobby Russell gets it. Russell wearing number 21 as he's been with Greenville for a little bit. Native of British Columbia. Now the Grizzlies cut it off on the right point. They'll throw it across. Utah in the left corner. As Jamison around the net, he gets hit by Max Martin, gets divorced from the puck. Greenville towards the right side. Utah, they tried to feather it out in front to right, and the puck stayed in the corner. Right's over there, but the puck glides towards the right side. Now a right wing shot, and it's blocked by a Swamp Rabbit. Boy, that one looked like it hurt Greenville a little bit. As the puck's towards the near boards, 2-on-2 battle. Now 3-on-3 as it goes over to Fitz. I try to find right out in front. The pass was behind him. Greenville crosses center ice as 2-on-2. Greenville towards the left side. Center pass. Shot. Saved by Preek. What a stop by Lucas. Now behind the goal line, they try to bounce it off a Preek into the back of the net. It rolls back towards Utah. Grizzlies. About 6 minutes left in the first as Cameron Wright will throw it towards the right side as the puck bounced off the boards. There's still no score as Greenville towards neutralize, crosses center. Now the Swamp Rabbits skate around Taryn Pfizer, now around Utah's net, looking for the wraparound. Now they try to feather it out in front. The Grizz did a good job cutting it off. Good job by Kyle Pouncey out in front of the net, boxing out Greenville. As the Swamp Rabbits have it in their own zone, less than 6 minutes left in the first period, still no score. As the Swamp Rabbits have outshot the Grizzlies by a margin of 9-6. Grizzlies have taken the last 3 shots. It rolls back over to Iarulo as Preek's net gets dislodged, as there's a battle out in front as Dallas Gerads battled with Christian Simeone. Timeout on the ice. We'll take one as well. We're back in 1 minute. Once again, there's no score between the Grizzlies and the Swamp Rabbits. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey presented by Rio Tinto.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Simeone throws it out to center ice. Grizzlies 3-on-3. They score towards the right side. Pfizer shot and it's blocked. Grizzlies towards the right circle. Shot kick saved by Renick. Now the Grizzlies over in the far corners. There's still no score. Less than 5 minutes left in the first period. Greenville takes it away. Swamp Rabbits 2-on-3. They gain the offensive line. Left point. Irulo gets hit. Now the Swamp Rabbits get back to Irulo as James Shearer cuts in front of him. Great defensive play by Shearer. As Simeone throws it out to center ice right wing. Grizzlies enter from the right side. Utah avoids a check. Does Jamison. He gets the puck back. As he's towards the right side, feeds it to Simeone in the right corner. As the Grizzlies on the far side skate from right to left. Now towards the right point, get it back to Jamison. He couldn't reach it. As a puck behind the goal line, as Greenville spins it back towards the far side, it exits the zone. Utah is at their blue line as the Grizz will cross center ice. And Raby gains the line. He gets hit as the puck squirts towards the corner. Max Martin spins it to the right point for Greenville. Now it goes back to Raby, who's on the right side. Centers it. Righty shot. Saved by Renick. Rebound goes out to the near side. Greenville clears it out. As Kyle Pouncey chases after it, he skates around Utah's net as he's being chased by Justin Nachbar. Left wing pass to Nilsson. He'll feed across. It bounced off a Penner's skate and it rolls deep into the Swamp Rabbit zone. Less than 4 minutes left in the first period. Still no score as Greenville back in the near corner. As Utah chasing after it, does Penner. As Greenville squirts it back to center ice. Raby gets it. He'll skate down the middle. Raby veers off to the left circle. Take a lefty shot. Saved by Renick in the butterfly position as it goes back to right. Right side back to Raby. He couldn't handle it in the far corner. Penner behind the net battles with 3 Swamp Rabbits. Utah kicks it back to the corner. Cameron Wright feeds it to the left side for Martin. Back to the left side for Wright. Back to Martin, who's down the middle. He looked for a backhand pass to Raby out in front. It's cut off by Greenville. As Martin gets it back, he skates towards his right. He's in the high slot now. Martin will bounce it off the far boards and spins it around. Raby gets cut off, and he gets hit behind Greenville's net. Wright has the puck on the left side. Tried to get it up top. Martin kept it in. Martin fires towards the net. Greenville blocks it. Now Wright will bounce it off the Swamp Rabbit in the slot, and Greenville clears it out to center. Wright will chase it back at the Utah blue line as there's less than 3 minutes left in the first period. Still no score. Greenville picks it off at center ice. They'll skate towards the left circle, but the Swamp Rabbits are offside as the whistle blows with 2:41 left in the first period. Boy, a lot of interesting action there. The Grizzlies had some good looks on Renick.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from that 650 mark in. From there, it seems like a little bit of the tide has changed in favor of the Grizzlies as far as possession, being able to get a few offensive zone passes and even keep that, for lack of a better term, an offensive rebound, being able to, keep it and generate yet another chance in. Nelson's bringing up in the zone, and he's got his wingers abreast and has them there. We just haven't connected and had a really good, good angle shot on Renick so far.
And, Greenville, they really had a lot of chances there first half of the first period, but it looks like the Grizzlies are really settled in, and Lucas Preek's had a pretty strong first period of his own.
Yeah, Lucas Preek is doing really well, and you can tell by his demeanor and the way that he's playing the puck. He's seeing the puck, he's square to it, and not giving the Greenville much. And heavens, thank heavens for that great poke check that he had down low. Otherwise, Greenville would definitely be up 1-0.
Is that a proposal we're seeing over there in Greenville? I don't know. It's either a proposal or something there. Or maybe they're just playing a game. I'm not sure. It's the day after Valentine's Day, and hopefully everybody had a better Valentine's Day than I had, but it is what it is. Neutral zone draw won by the Grizzlies. Utah skates from right to left as there's 2.5 minutes left in the first period. Grizzlies cross center ice, and they dump it in. As Utah in the white jerseys with black numbers and professional green trim, as Greenville to the far side will throw it out to the slot. Greenville crosses center ice, and Ethan Kapp skates in. Right side, he gets it poked away by Shearer. Now Kapp around the net. He gets blasted by Shearer. Had a good first period. Pfizer lifts the puck out to neutral ice. It ricochets off the near boards. As Greenville gets it, they move it out towards center. Swamp Rabbits to the right wing couldn't handle it. Grizzlies dump it back into Shearer, who's been outstanding in the first period as there's still no score. 2 minutes left in the first period. As Dylan Fitz skates towards the left point, he fires towards the net and it goes wide. Pfizer behind the net to Strong. Strong back to Pfizer as he skates towards his right. Now he fires towards the net. Saved by Renick. And the Greenville goaltender holds on. 1:51 left in the first period. Utah's had one power play, and Greenville's yet to have one. I was thinking about saying Rapid City when I say Greenville, and for good reason. They're owned by the same group. Swire Coca-Cola owns the Rapid City Rush, and they also own the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. As the team president for Greenville is Todd Mackin. who's also the team president for Rapid City. As the draw is going to be in the far circle of the Swamp Rabbit zone, Greenville wins it as Max Martin feeds out to center ice. As there's no score, Greenville dumps it in. Martin chases after it on the far side. He spins it back to the right side. It bounced off the stick of Dallas Drads, who's been active in the first period. Drads gets it back. He'll fire a shot. Saved by Preek. Rebound goes out to Jordan Martell. The Rooster clears it out to center as Greenville dumps it. Now I wanted to say Rapid City, as I shouldn't have done that. So shouldn't have said it the first time. As it goes back to Josh McKechnie, who's been great over the last 3 or 4 games. He spins it around as the Swamp Rabbits won 3 in a row. Now behind the net, Bryson Martin delivers a shot, and the puck ends up back towards the right side as Martin in the area. He's been physical in the first period as Drads takes a shot, stick saved by Preek. As Shearer gets cut off, Martin battles behind the net, taken back by Knockbar. He'll center it, lefty shot, saved by Preek. As Justin Knockbar centered it to Anthony Beauchamp, who's got 7 goals this season. And Beauchamp, who was wearing the college-style face mask, was able to get a good shot up. But Lucas Preek's been outstanding here so far in the first period. As we got a whistle with 58.5 seconds left in the first period. As Greenville's outshot Utah, but Lucas Preek might be a better goaltender. And from what we've seen in past experiences, he's been a better goaltender with the more action that he's seen. Draws over in the left circle, and it's won by Utah as Nilsson gets hit. He gets held up as Nilsson battles on the far side. Penner gets it and throws it back to McDonald, who's behind Utah's net. As McDonald, wearing number 5, will feed it back to the near corner for Penner. Penner on the right side avoids a check as the puck ends up back with McDonald. Now he'll throw it down the middle to Raby, who crosses center ice. Raby collides with a Swamp Rabbit, but Raby's able to keep his feet, but he loses the puck. Swamp Rabbits out towards center ice. They bounce it off the board. Utah chasing after it, and it looks like Nilsson gets it, but no icing on the play. As Nilsson skates towards the left side, he gets hit pretty hard by Knockbar. Grizzlies get to the left side. McDonald moves out to center for Raby, who drops it back off for McDonald. 12 seconds left in the first period. Over to the right side for Jamison. He gets it poked away by Greenville, who spins it towards the near boards. 5 seconds left. Martin fires towards the left side. Now right with a shot. As saved by Rennick. And that will do it for 20 minutes over at Bond Secures Wellness Arena as Greenville outshot Utah, but Lucas Preek was outstanding, and the Grizzlies really had some good looks in the last half of the first period. In fact, the Swamp Rabbits outshot the Grizzlies 11-9, but remember, at one point in the first period, it was 9-3 in favor of the Swamp Rabbits. Utah was 0 for 1 on the power play. now they just started adding shots. so much for trying to trust the video board. Well, it looks like the first period, Greenville had 13 shots and Utah had 10 in the final tabulation. Utah was 0 for 1 on the power play, and Greenville didn't get a power play in the first period. So the Grizzlies played a pretty disciplined first 20 minutes of play. And for the Grizzlies, they're still looking for the Optum first goal of the game. And with Optum Healthcare, we're creating a healthier world, one insight, one connection, one person at a time. So you can still make your pick on the comments section on YouTube as to who's going to be the Optum first goal of the game score for the Utah Grizzlies. There's no score after one. And you think about it, the Grizzlies have only scored first in 15 of 45 games this season. But can they find a way here in the second period, which has been their money period this season? Can they find a way to get on the board first here this evening? Well, first intermission over at Bond Secures Wellness Arena. And when we come back to the intermission report presented by Rio Tinto, Tim Broussard and I will talk hockey, and we'll talk about this first 20 minutes of play. And we'll also remember Michael Pellick, who broke a league record yesterday. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
First intermission here from, we're at Maverick Center in the lobby. Tim Broussard and I, as Guy Krenz is off on assignment this week. We'll see him when the Grizzlies return home for a 3-game series against the Allen Americans. We'll talk about that homestand here later on, as it's going to be Grizzlies Fight Cancer Weekend next Friday and Saturday, February 24th and 25th. I'm actually wearing one of the Grizzlies Fight Cancer jerseys that the Grizz will be wearing next week against the Allen Americans, and that's going to be a very heated series. Remember how that series ended with Lucas Preek getting in a fight with Allen's goaltender and the Grizzlies ending up with 96 minutes worth of penalties? Well, I got a feeling it's going to be pretty physical next week when the Allen Americans will be at Maverick Center for a 3-game series this next Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, February 22nd, 24th, and 25th. Face off all 3 nights. We'll be at 7:10. As for the first period, nobody scored a goal, so we're still looking for the Optum first goal of the game. Optum is committed to making healthcare work better, leading the way to better experiences, better health, and lower costs for you. There was 1 penalty in the first period, as Bobby Russell got a holding minor, 3:55 into the contest. Grizzlies really didn't generate many offensive opportunities from that power play, as Greenville outshot Utah 9-3 in the first portion of the game, and then Utah really responded in the second half of the first period. Greenville outshot the Grizzlies 13-10. For the Swamp Rabbits, Dallas Gerads led the way with 4 shots, 2 shots for Brett Kemp, as well as Ethan Kapp and Ben Freeman, and 1 shot for Tanner Eberle, Anthony Beauchamp, and Brandon McManus, even though from what I remember, Eberle's shot as well as Beauchamp's was probably the best looks that Greenville had in the first period. As for Utah, Tyler Penner had 2 shots, and then 8 other Grizzlies had 1 shot, including Dakota Raby. It's great to see Raby back after missing 5 straight games, and it's also good seeing Vladislav Mikalchuk back in a Grizzlies uniform, as he missed the last 12 games. And there were some rumors out there they fractured his femur on social media. That's why you don't trust social media. He didn't break anything. Obviously, he was bruised up pretty good because it was a vicious hit about a month ago, but after missing a month worth of action, well, Mikalchuk's back in the Grizzlies lineup. And the scratches for the Grizzlies tonight, Zach Sekos, Johnny Walker, Corey Thomas, and Victor Bartley, and Joey Kolatarsi. And if he joined us late, forward Brandon Cutler was recalled to the AHL's Colorado Eagles. Cutler was about a point a game for the Grizzlies, but you think about how outstanding he was in the last 10 games since coming back from a stint in the AHL where he spent time with 2 teams. And he was on an ECHL contract, and it looked like the Colorado Avalanche started having some injuries pile up. And obviously, when you've got an ECHL contract, you're essentially an AHL free agent. It is good that he is in the organization with Colorado in the AHL, and it's good to see Brandon Cutler get another chance, as he's now playing for his 4th different AHL team. He played with Abbotsford last season, and earlier this year was with Belleville and Hartford, and now he's a member of the Colorado Eagles. And that's where goaltender Trent Miner is, as Miner got called up to Colorado 2 days ago. And 2 days ago, the Grizzlies also released defenseman Jordan Stone. But Tim, in the first period, Greenville had a lot of looks. I mean, of the 13 shots, it wouldn't surprise me if 7 or 8 of them were considered scoring chances by their off-ice officials, and Lucas Preek did an outstanding job.
Yeah, Lucas kept us in it on there. I mean, honestly, Greenville's just using this sweeping cycle coming in, and the notes I had on here, their puck support is awesome. So just because their lead guy loses the puck, it doesn't mean that they, the winger, the off winger, or even the defenseman isn't coming up. But the pressure that Greenville was providing in the first was tremendous. And honestly, I think we're a little bit lucky to get out of there with the score being 0-0.
When basketball, you usually got like that 3-man weave and you just kind of work around. It looked like Greenville was working like the 3-man weave there a little bit.
Exactly. And one of those guys on my notes are down low. So if there's a rebound or it sits in front of Lucas or whatever, and we saw him had to make, that incredible puck or poke check just to get it out. But they've got a man down low, and then they just keep cycling it through. And honestly, there's growing cause for concern when a team is able to do that for an extended period of time like Greenville was.
Looked like the Grizzlies withstood the storm early in the game. It looked like they really settled in the last half of the first period. It looked like they ended up with more good scoring looks than Greenville did.
Yeah, that last, I had it at about the 7-minute mark, the 6:50 mark. You could tell that things were kind of changing, and the Grizzlies were able to gain neutral zone and do something other than come up with a line change because they were exhausted from being on defense. So they were able to generate something. I had the notes on here. Andrew Nelson was bringing up the puck and being able to dish it off to wingers. We were able to get a few passes here and there in the offensive zone and, obtain a sustained offensive presence and generate a few, opportunities against Rannick. And that's what we needed.
And even though he missed 5 straight games, looks like Dakota Raby didn't skip a beat. He had a really strong first period for Utah.
Immediate impact, and being able to, with his speed, being able to alleviate some of the pressure and being able to move the puck up and down and get it out of harm's way at least long enough so that you can get, complete a wholesale line change. That's really important when you're feeling the pressure and you're just trying to withstand. And I think Raby was a big part of that, being able to get it out and do something with the puck and eat up a little time and give the Grizzlies a chance to reset.
It almost feels like the combination of Wright and Jamison is due for a big goal here in the second period.
They need to do something. We had talked about, what do you do with these guys? Who's going to step up with everybody else being out and your A players not performing at the A level? Just because they're down from an AHL doesn't mean they're still playing at an AHL level. We're not seeing success at too much of a level, especially on defense. But to see, Wright and Jamison, I think they're due for a couple good connects, and hopefully now that we've gotten out of the first period without having any damage, and we're not going to go into the second period down 1 or 2. Hey, now we can catch our breath and sustain something, and heaven forbid, even get into a system and start generating some offensive pressure against Greenville.
I'm Tyson Whiting here with Tim Broussard. It's good to see you here. It's been a while, and for the Grizzlies, it's just as good as the month of January was. It made it all the disappointing to see the Grizzlies not play so well the last 5 games. But I do think you got 4 games here left in the road trip, and you think about exactly 2 months from now is the end of the regular season for Utah. They've got a lot of home games. After all, this is already the 26th road game of the season, so the Grizzlies are going to be home quite a bit, and the Grizzlies, based on how they played in January, they're certainly a capable team. And I think that for the Grizz, it starts here tonight against Greenville. They can find a way to get a successful road trip, have Allen come back here next week, and see if the Grizzlies can get a little bit of revenge against the Americans and just kind of get the ball rolling towards a playoff run.
That's a great point. We're past not just the half point of the season, but we're slowly approaching that 3/4 mark, and now you've got to do something to make your mark, and where we're at is not where you really want to be in the standings. Idaho's running away with it, and we know that they're going to be in there, and so now we're chasing 3 other teams and Idaho to try to make a mark in there, and this is where you're going to have to do that, and having what Allen did in our arena come down, that wasn't what we wanted to have happen. So hopefully we get the opportunity to send the message and right the ship and send it back to them that this will be our house. So that stand is going to be incredibly important for any type of playoff positioning, and any point is just so precious right now. And what better way to do it against than a divisional foe.
When we come back to the Grizzlies intermission report presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott, we'll talk about Michael Pellick, one of the best players in Grizzlies history. He broke a league record yesterday. We'll also talk about Brandon Cutler. Had a good light night last night for the Colorado Eagles. And we'll have second period action over at Bond Secure's Wellness Arena, as there's no score between the Grizzlies and Swamp Rabbits. We're back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting here with Tim Broussard. One game's already gone final. They played a morning game over in Rapid City, and Toledo defeated Rapid City 5-1. So that's good for the Grizzlies. They're going to be battling with Rapid City for a playoff spot. Looked like Logan Nelson scored for Rapid City 135 into the contest, and then Toledo scored 5 unanswered as the Walleye defeated the Rapid City Rush 5-1 as the Walleye outshot the Rush 34-23. Toledo went 2 for 4 on the power play. Rapid City was 0 for 4. First intermission, Maine leads Adirondack 2-1. Well, most of the games usually are done by the time the Grizzlies get to the first intermission, but since we're playing in the Eastern time zone as well, these games are in progress. First intermission, no score between Orlando and Jacksonville. The Grizzlies will be at Orlando on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock and Monday at 5 p.m. That's Mountain Time Zone start, so it'll be 3 o'clock local on Sunday over in Orlando at Amway Center, which is the same building that the Orlando Magic play in. First intermission, Norfolk leads Reading 1-0. That means that Norfolk has led after one period 6 times this season. And the Grizzlies have also led after one period 6 times this season. And that's the fewest amount of times a team has led after one period in the league. So Norfolk is a 1-0 leader over Reading that game after one period. Halfway through the first, Kalamazoo and Cincinnati are scoreless. Later on, in about 10 minutes from now, at 6 o'clock, Florida is at Allen. I think it's the first time those teams have ever met over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center. And also at 6:05, Idaho is at Wichita, in a matchup of two of the best teams in the Mountain Division, certainly record-wise, the two best teams. Idaho has 74 standings points and an 804 point percentage. Wichita has 54 points and a 563 point percentage, but the Thunder have really struggled as they've lost 4 in a row and are just 3-6-1 in their last 10 games. The Thunder have had some goaltending issues, either with call-ups or injuries. They signed Eric Dopp a week or two ago, the former Grizzly, and they also signed Brad Arvanitis earlier today. But did you see the news yesterday? Former Grizzlies forward Michael Pelech, who I think is playing with Atlanta now, the Gladiators. He's playing with Atlanta now. He played in his 860th ECHL game, and that broke a league record. So congratulations to Michael Pelech, who's one of the best players in Utah Grizzlies history. He ranks 3rd in team history in points with 189, trailing just Chris Taylor, who's in 2nd place, and in 1st place by a wide margin, the Grizzlies GOAT, current Grizzlies head coach Ryan Kanasowicz. And, so Pelech's 3rd in team history in points with 189. He's also 5th in team history with 72 goals, and he's 4th with 117 assists. So Michael Pelech, is one of the best forwards in Utah Grizzlies history. He's gone on to have quite the career, and he broke the league's all-time game played record with 860. It's one of those records you don't necessarily want to break in this league, but it's one that, does say, that about his ability to stay in shape all these years and about his ability to just kind of produce year in and year out.
All I can help remember him is being able to extend a game by 5 or 6 minutes just on the face-offs alone, and how many times he would get kicked from the face-off circle, and it was almost just a known. But yeah, that does say something for his longevity, and congratulations to him. And maybe a little bit of a dubious record, but one nonetheless. So good on him.
Yeah, Michael Pelech would get kicked out of the face-off circle more than he would take the face-offs, and that's got to be a league record. If they would have kept that stat, Michael Pelech would have the league record for most times kicked out of the face-off circle. But
right.
He played in 4 different seasons with the Grizzlies over 2 stints, and he's done an outstanding job. And you see yesterday in the AHL, Brandon Cutler scored a goal for the Eagles. I think I mentioned it 4 or 5 too many times here, but you think about guys stepping up for the Grizzlies. I mean, obviously that's a big loss, losing Brandon Cutler, and other guys have got to step up, and I think that Cameron Wright's one of those players. With the amount of shots that he takes and with the amount of good looks he gets, it wouldn't surprise me if he gets Utah's first goal tonight.
Right, with Cameron, right. It's a double-edged sword, right? It's a good idea. It's great that he's seeing the lanes. He's getting himself a shooting lane open, consistently. The problem is he taking that when he should be passing? And we talked about this a little bit on the way down. There's a player gets a certain mark on. Hey, he's not going to pass no matter what he's going to shoot. Well, the minute he gains his own, he's going to have two defensemen on him, and those lanes are going to start closing. And because they know that he's not going to pass, and so his level of threat is definitely diminished at that point. So hopefully he can find a line mate or somebody that he can trust, that he's comfortable with passing, and start getting some connections going back and forth.
Wright had 12 shots on goal this past Saturday against Rapid City, which is the most by any Grizzlies player in a single game this season. Well, it looks like we're about set for second period action over at Bond Secure's Wellness Arena. Grizzlies will be skating from left to right as we see it on Flow Sports. Your mind's eye see it on YouTube. Greenville will be skating from right to left as we're still looking for the game's first goal. As Tyler Penner will take the draw for Utah, the Grizzlies Iron Man, and he'll be going up against Ben Freeman. Freeman's a +3 this season and might be the biggest of all the Swamp Rabbits. Greenville gets the draw as we've started second period action, left wing. Swamp Rabbits drive it around the boards. It goes to the right side of the goal line as Aaron Tho chips it ahead. It bounced off a Swamp Rabbit. Right side, Greenville centers it. Lefty shot. Saved by Parikh, and he holds on as that shot was taken by Dallas Gerads, who had 4 shots in the first period and 17 seconds into the second. Gets his 5th shot on goal as Parikh holds on as we get a whistle 17 seconds into the second period. Faceoff's going to be towards Lucas Parikh. That looks like a nice place to go on vacation there. What they show there on the board there over on Flow Sports. Draw won by Greenville. So dropping off in the right point, Greenville. They tried to chip it out in front. It bounced off for Freeman in the far circles. He's battling with Jamison. As Jamison pushes him along the end wall. Jamison battles, and Keaton comes out with the puck. Good job by Keaton. Jamison winning that one-on-one battle. As Jamison throws it ahead towards Raby. And bouncing off of Greenville, bounces it off of Raby. Sure over in the near corner, gets it back towards Jamison, who moves it ahead to Raby, who feeds it across. As Sure lets it go towards the far side, Grizzlies clear it out to center. Right side, as Jamison avoids a check, but loses the puck. Or maybe Raby avoided a check and loses the puck as Girls towards the far side. Now goes back to center ice. Jamison battles, so bouncing off a Swamp Rabbit. Greenville skates in left side, and big-time hit delivered by Kyle Pouncey on Dallas Gerads. It goes back to Utah's Cameron Wright. Will feed it out to center ice. Grizz cross center. Bryson Martin will chip it off the boards. He gets it back and will dump it towards the far corner. Martin throws to the left circle. Righty shot saved by Rennick. Goes back towards Martin as he feeds it back to Utah, who skates towards their right. As Raby fires a lefty shot, and it goes. Actually, Rennick made the save as the puck kicked towards the far corner. As Greenville and Utah battles, puck goes back to Raby. He skates towards his right. He drops it back up top for Martin, who will ricochet off the boards. Cam Strong gets to right over to Raby, who takes a shot, and he gets blocked by Lord Anthony Grissom. As Raby throws it back to the left side, Grizzlies fire a righty shot. Oh, I got redirected to score! As Connor McDonald fired towards the net, it got redirected by Cam Strong, who put it away for his 7th of the season. And Cam Strong gets the Optum first goal of the game. Optum is committed to making healthcare work better, leading the way to better experiences, better health, and lower costs for you. Cam Strong gets his 7th of the season as he redirected a Connor McDonald shot from the left point. It might have been more of a pass and a shot as the Grizzlies get on the board with 18-12 left in the second. Well, that's certainly good to see as the draw is going to be at center ice, taken by Cam Strong, who's probably got more experience against the Swamp Rabbits than any Grizzlies. He played for South Carolina last year. Greenville gets it back in their own zone as Utah scored first for the 16th time this season. As Greenville dumps it into the offensive zone, Tho feeds it back to the corner as Utah battles. Grizzle played good here so far. Martel gets out to center ice for Simeone. He gets cut off at center ice. Martel dumps it back in, and it looks like the Grizzlies are offside with 17:48 left in the second. Tim, what'd you see on the Grizzlies' goal?
Yeah, that was a good 30 to 45 seconds of solid possession time in the Greenville zone, and that kind of brings to good things. We were able to get a line change and successfully come in. Greenville had to use their tired guys out there, and it only took a second for that shot to come in and get redirected, and Rannick had absolutely no chance.
So we're still checking to see the details of the goal. I think Strong got the goal with Connor McDonald picking up his 8th assist of the season. As Utah leads 1-0, Greenville wins the draw. They escape back into their own zone. They escape from right to left as we see it on YouTube. As Grizzlies take it away at neutral ice, Dylan Fitz lifts it in as it bounces towards Rennick, who kicks it away as it goes to Ethan Kapp wearing number 22. He's 6'2" and 210 pounds, a +4 this season. Left wing pass. Greenville skates towards the left circle. Take a shot. Saved by Parikh. As the shot was taken by Tanner Eberle, who's had 2 good looks tonight, but Parikh's denied him on both occasions. And Lucas holds on with 17:22 left in the second as Greenville had a long-range pass that connected to the left side, and boy, they had a great A opportunity, but Parikh not only made the save, but didn't allow a rebound.
That's just as important. That's just as good as not allowing a second shot in on. And it's also a really good indication for your goalie that he's seeing everything in front of him and keeping that pushed away out from him, doing an outstanding job.
Grizzlies win the draw. They skate around Parikh's net as Bryson Martin will lift it out to center ice. It goes to Taryn Pfizer. Pfizer stops on the left side just outside the circle. And he feathered it across, and the puck looked like it bounced off the stick and flew out of play. 17-11 left in the second period as Utah scored first. They still haven't shown the details of the Grizzlies' goal on the ECHL app in terms of the box score, but we do believe Cam Strong got a 7th of the year with McDonald getting an assist, and I imagine another assist is going to go to Utah. And it looks like Dakota Raby, in his first game back after missing 5 straight, gets an assist for Utah. Grizz win the draw. Left wing shot saved by Rennick. He holds on with 17:06 left in the second, but it's good to see the Grizzlies be aggressive here offensively in the first 3 minutes of the second period.
Exactly what you wanted after that, establishing that mark in the late in the first period that they were able to withstand. Now they're able to generate some offense, and now they got rewarded for it. So hopefully they can take this and build on that.
Strong's goal was scored 1:48 into the first period, then into the second period. Raby and McDonald with the assist. Draws in the Greenville zone, far circle. Utah wins the faceoff as Penner chips it past Fitz. It goes to the left point. Bryson Martin fires a shot, and it bounced off the end boards. Penner tried to get it across. It hits the side of the net. Greenville, still in their own zone, will ricochet it off the far glass. It goes to center ice. Brighton Martin gathers it near the Grizzlies bench. He enters the zone on side. Martin will bounce it off the end wall. Fitz gets it. I was looking for the wraparound. Brennick cut it off with his stick. And the Grizzlies make a line change as Greenville has it deep in their own zone. 3.5 minutes into the second period, Utah leads 1-0 on Cam Strong's 7th of the year. As a battle in the Grizzlies blue line, Utah gets it. Jamison skates over there as Raby delivers a hit. Cam Wright crosses center ice, and he'll drive it around the boards. Rennick stays in front of his net as Greenville will carry it out to center ice, and they'll throw a pass to the center ice logo, taken away by Raby, who will feed it out near the Grizzlies bench. Raby chases after it. Now another Grizzly gets it, and it's Cam Wright. He skates down the middle, take a shot. Stick saved by Rennick, and the puck flies out of play with 16:04 left in the second. But the Grizzlies are being the aggressor here in the second period. They're beating Greenville to the punch, literally and figuratively, and you're seeing that aggressiveness really is good to see because the Grizzlies are at their best when they're playing aggressive like that.
Exactly. And, maybe that's one where they could have held back. I don't know, Cameron, right? We talked about, when do you pull back? When do you do that? Well, if you're the lead guy, maybe at that point you pull back because you've got 2 other wings flying out to the side and to the left of them. But, it's easy for me to say that sitting here.
Grizzlies have been in the offensive zone most of the second period. They win the offensive zone face-off. Jamison skates towards the corner. Now left wing shot by Wright near the goal line goes wide. As Nilsson feeds it down the middle for Wright. He's in the right circle. Right with a righty shot. Saved by Rennick. Puck goes towards the far side. Dakota Raby skates over there. Lord Anthony Grissom gets it poked away. As Greenville near center ice, trying to get it back to Grissom as he battles with a Grizzly. Utah gets it, carry it over the line. Grissom spins around Utah right in the area, but Greenville gets it. They'll skate towards the far goal line and spin it around to the near side. It's cut off by Andrew Nilsson on the right side. Nilsson chips it to the corner as it rolls behind Greenville's net. McCallchuck wearing number 25 as he'll skate towards the left point, feed it back to the point. Now right side, Nilsson fakes a shot. Now he'll take a lefty shot, and it's blocked as Greenville clears it out to center. They chase after it in the Grizzly zone. And a battle in the corner. Greenville gets it all. They're all alone to the left side. Parikh skates out, and he trips up Greenville. Now another Swamp Rabbit. Wraparound shot. Saved by Parikh. Well, a very aggressive move by Parikh, and he got away with it. As Utah crosses center. McCallchuck with a left wing pass to Strong. Strong gets it. He avoids a check. Gets it back to McCallchuck behind, over in the left corner. He spins it around to the right corner, but the puck didn't get very far. Utah on the right point. The Rooster moves it ahead. Right side Grizzlies skate towards the left circle, and Martin with a shot, and it goes wide as he was all alone in the left circle. As Greenville gets pushed along the right side by Cam Strong. And now the Grizzlies deliver another big hit, and that was McCallchuck. Grizzlies playing physical tonight as Grizz feed it towards the high slot. Greenville poked it away back to neutralize, but Bryson Martin gets it. He'll re-enter from the left side. He feeds it across to McCallchuck, who gets the puck off the boards and throws to the Rooster. Martell behind the net gets hit by two different Swamp Rabbits. Greenville gets the puck as Drads will bouncing off the glass, goes to Kyle Pouncey, who's trying to locate the puck at center ice. Greenville comes away with it. Swamp Rabbits skate towards the left circle, and Bryson Martin cuts off Greenville. Martin's played a good game. As Martell crosses center ice right wing, he'll drive it around the boards. Rennick stays in front of his net. Rennick doesn't look like he plays the puck behind the net as much as some goalies. As Greenville right side 1-on-3, they skate towards the right circle. Righty shot, kick saved by Parikh. As Russell feeds it behind the net, Aaron Tho, wearing number 28, will bounce it off a Swamp Rabbit, and Tho gets it back as he'll skate towards center ice, right wing, as Tho will bounce it off the corner. Tho chases after it, and Tho gets blasted by Max Martin. As the Swamp Rabbits come back the other way, they feed it out to center. Greenville skates down the middle. Now they try to drop it off towards the slot, and the pass goes behind Greenville. Over to the right side, puck behind Fitz, and Greenville locates it back in their own zone. Lord Anthony Grissom with an outlet pass. It's picked off by Pfizer. Grissom blasts Pfizer as he makes up for his mistake. Now Pfizer gets it back. Right side, one-timer goes wide. It bounced off the boards. Rennick feeds it back to the end wall. Fitz gets it and spins it towards the far side, taken back by Greenville. Greenville enters the zone as they get pushed by James Shearer. Shearer in the corner. Well, the Grizzlies want to play physical tonight, and they have. Over to the right side, Swamp Rabbits. They look to center. Pass connects. Lefty shot and a score. As Tanner Eberle looks like he's found the back of the net. Oh, they say no goal. They're probably going to look over it as Grizzlies come ahead to the right side. Fitz centering pass. Shot. Saved by Rennick. Grizzlies get it. Sure. Shot. Saved by Rennick as he was skating on a drive-by. As Greenville towards center ice gets it poked away by Utah. Greenville enters the offensive line. Grizzlies poke it back to center. As Kyle Pouncey battles. Greenville to the right side. Feeds it over to the left. Swamp Rabbits stop in the left circle. They get it back to the right side. Greenville with a lefty shot. And it bounced off a sheer and rolls towards Parikh slowly. As Tanner Eberle wants them to review it. A play over about a minute ago that he thought had scored a goal for Greenville. And quite frankly, I thought it might have scored as well, but I imagine they're going to take a look at it as there's a timeout on the ice. This broadcast is presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott, producing premier American copper and proudly celebrating 120 years of operations in the Utah community. We're back in 30 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Well, we're back. Utah leads 1-0, but we're looking to see if Tanner Eberle had tied the game. It either hit the post or it, bounced off the back of the net so quickly and came back that the referee didn't spot it. As there's 12:24 left in the second period. Utah leads 1-0 as Cam Strong scored 148 in as he redirected a Connor McDonald shot from the left point out in front of the net. Dakota Raby also picked up an assist, his 15th of the year. I wonder if they're looking it over because Eberle was convinced that he had scored, and I'm almost convinced that he had scored as well. But right now it's 1-0 Utah.
That's the way it looks like from here. It looks like it hit that back bar and went flinging out. It didn't look like it hit the post, but we only get one angle to choose from on here, and they're looking at it from about 3 or 4. So it's unfortunate, but it does look like they scored.
I imagine they're looking it over right now. And if we're getting the same feed that they get on the video board, they're not going to show us a replay just because of the thought that the video replay would maybe influence the call somehow. So I wonder if they're looking it over. We haven't seen the ice. I imagine it's about the time we would start with the next segment of play. Utah has outshot Greenville 8-5 in the second period, and I really like the aggressiveness from the Grizzlies. Both teams now have 18 shots on goal. And really, it's not just the aggressiveness offensively, taking it to Greenville, but it looks like the Grizzlies are a lot more physical here tonight than they were in any of the previous 5 games in the month of February. Maybe except for a little bit of a portion there against Allen, but Grizzlies have played physical, and they've done a good job being physical, and yet staying out of the penalty box. Looks like if they did review it, they didn't give them a goal. It's still 1-0 Utah. As the Grizz win the face-off, they fling it out to center ice. It's gloved by Greenville and dropped right side. So Swamp Rabbits spin it along the boards. As Greenville over to the left side, kick it back towards Max Martin, who feeds ahead. Utah picks it off, and they throw an outlet pass to Cameron Wright. He skates towards the right corner, now feeds it across. Raby in the area. Jamison gets it back to right behind the net. Wright kicks it out to the right circle for Pouncey near the boards. Now to Raby. He'll take a lefty shot. Saved by Rennick. Rebound goes to the right side from McCallchuck. Back up top for Pouncey. Now across to, I believe, Bryson Martin, who takes a shot that goes wide. The puck bounced off the near boards and goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. Utah chases after it, and Bryson Martin gets it. Martin's playing at a different level here tonight. He skates towards the far side, feeds it out towards the Greenville blue line. It bounced off a Grizzly. Greenville will ricochet off the near boards as it goes deep in the Grizzlies zone. McDonald gets it. We have seen very few icing calls here in the first half of plays. The game's had a good flow to it. McDonald moves it out to center ice for Martell. The Rooster, right side, dumps it to the right side. And Strong, just outside the right circle, gets it to the high slot for McDonald, who fired a one-timer, didn't get much on it. Greenville, right wing pass, they enter the zone as they skate towards the right circle. Greenville tried to chip it out in front to Irulo. Grizzlies poke it away. Martell dumps it in. Greenville chases after it. They get the puck as they skate around, or they skate in front of David Rennick. As the Swamp Rabbits will fire a lefty pass. It goes deep in the Grizzlies zone, and icing is called on Greenville. Just as I was saying, we hadn't had many icing calls. We get one with 10:53 left in the second period. As looks like both teams have taken 18 shots here in the first half of the contest. 4 by Cameron Wright, but the Grizzlies got a goal 1:48 into the second period as Cam Strong is the Optum first goal of the game. Dakota Raby and Connor McDonald with the assists. The draw is going to be back in the Greenville zone as Utah's looking to end a 5-game losing streak. Greenville's won 3 in a row, and they are 8-2 in their last 10 games. As a draw won by Greenville after a long battle. Swamp Rabbits lifted over the head of a Grizzlies defenseman. Nielsen chasing after it. So sure, but Preet plays it to the side of his net. He'll bounce it over to Nielsen. Now back to Fitz, who ricocheted off a Swamp Rabbit. Penner pokes it out to neutralize, where it's taken by Pfizer. Pfizer skates down the middle, crosses center ice, and he dumps it in as it rolls around the boards. Rennick cuts it off behind his net, and he'll feed it towards the far side. Grizzlies cut it off. Left wing shot goes wide. Puck goes back to the right point for Nielsen. He'll take a lefty shot, and it's blocked about 5 feet in front of Rennick. It's Greenville's Lord Anthony Grissom, the Detroit native. We'll throw it back to neutralize. Puck bounced off a Shearer. It's in the Swamp Rabbit. It's in the Grizzlies zone. As the whistle blows, the puck exited the zone as Shearer collided with Dallas Giratz, who's been one of Greenville's most active players. There's 10-11 left in the second period. Utah still leads 1-0. Well, the Grizzlies disaster, the Utah disaster cleanup is yet to go to work. That's sponsoring the penalty kills, the successful penalty kills here for the rest of the regular season. Draws at neutral ice after Greenville got called for offside as the puck exited and re-entered the zone. As Utah wins the draw, and the Grizz back in their own end get it to Kyle Pouncey. Pouncey skates towards the near side. He'll move it ahead. Grizz get it out to neutralize for Cameron Wright. Right with a left wing pass that didn't connect as it rolls towards Rennick and past the goal line as icing is going to be called on the Grizzlies. Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. Now we've had like 3 icings here in the last minute. 9:55 left in the seconds. We're past the halfway point. And Tim, for a first 30 minutes of play, I think you have to like what you see if you're a Grizzlies fan.
A lot of flow and a lot of that momentum spewing over for the end of the first period. Now we're continuing through the second. Dodged a bullet there on that no goal from Eberle, and we're just picking it up. And it's not just the threats; it's a physical play too.
Greenville wins the face-off. They throw it to the right circle. They couldn't get a shot off as Grizzlies pitchforking out the center ice as the puck glides towards the Greenville blue line. Swamp Rabbits gather it in their orange jersey. They move it ahead as the Swamp Rabbits enter the zone, but they're offside with 9:37 left in the second. As Utah have scored first for the 16th time this season. When we come back in 1 minute, we'll have hockey as Utah leads 1-0 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life. I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Utah leads 1-0, 9:37 left in the second period. The Grizzlies, when leading after 2 periods, have a record of 14-1. As I was thinking about this game earlier today, I thought it'd be great for the Grizzlies to play with a lead, and they have one right now. As Greenville gets the puck on the left side, neutral ice, and they'll drive it around the wall. As the Swamp Rabbits to the right side, as they overskate it, Dakota Raby's been outstanding in his first game back after missing 5 straight. The puck bounced off the Grizzly, goes back to neutral ice. Raby moves it ahead. As it goes over to Cameron Wright. Wright gets it, left circle, shot on. He gets back checked as Greenville poked it away. As Wright couldn't get a shot off. Jamison towards the near side gets hit. As Greenville spins it around the boards. As the Swamp Rabbits still in their own zone, will feed it across as the Grizzlies get a stick in the way, and the puck flies out of play towards the near stands. Good job by Keaton Jamison getting a stick in the way as we get another whistle with 9:02 left in the second period. I'm Tyson Whiting hanging out with Tim Broussard as Guy Krenz is off on assignment. Make sure to follow the Grizzlies on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. I'm on Twitter at Tyson on Sports. The draw, I believe, is going to be in the Swamp Rabbits zone. This looks like a good Wednesday night crowd over at Bond Secures Wellness Arena, one of the best buildings in the league. Cam Strong has Utah's goal, and he takes the face-off against Josh McKechnie. McKechnie wins the draw as Greenville throws it out to center ice. Swamp Rabbits skate in, right circle, and they'll stop towards the boards. Now right wing shot, saved by Parikh. And Lucas holds on as we get another whistle with 8:50 left in the second. I want to apologize to everybody. I'm like, hey, this game's got a good flow, very few whistles. And all of a sudden, last 2 minutes, we're getting a whistle every 10 seconds.
I gave him the heads up during the break. I'm like, we were doing fine till you mentioned that on the icing. But seriously, right now, this is the game the Grizzlies want right now, and they're up by 1. They're playing with the lead, and now they got a chance to get physical if they want, and even take a few more chances offensively if they wish.
Looks like dogs are invited to every Wednesday home game in Greenville. We've seen a lot of dogs in attendance as Utah wins the draw. Jordan Martell gets to the Greenville blue line and dumps it into the right corner. Greenville gets it back as the Swamp Rabbits skate from right to left. As they couldn't handle the puck at center ice, Utah gets it back as the Grizzlies throw it across as there is, though, back to Simeone. Gets out to center ice as Greenville gets poked away by Martell. He'll skate across the line, and he overskates it as Greenville moves it ahead to the right side as the Swamp Rabbits, with 8 minutes and 18 seconds left in the second, gets hit by Strong. Strong gets the puck, and he'll throw it to the slot for Martell across the center ice down the middle. Martell gets poked away by Simeone, his teammate, and the Grizzlies are called for offside with 8:11 left in the second period as the draw comes back to neutral ice. As, of course, my screen's glitching a little bit, so I'm just having to guess here from time to time as to what's going on. As Utah leads 1-0. Draw at neutral ice is won by the Swamp Rabbits. They cross center ice and dump it in as they chase after it behind Parikh's net. Taken by Andrew Nilsson, but the Swamp Rabbits get it back. Centering pass, shot and a score. That's Tanner Eberle getting his 20th of the season. He had thought he'd scored earlier in the second period, but Eberle scores now with 7:58 left in the second as we're tied at 1. Well, from what I could see, Greenville is able to dump the puck in, get it to the left side center to Eberle, who put it away. As they show the replay, and the shot was actually taken on a one-timer from the left circle with Shearer nearby. Shearer was trying to cut it as the puck was behind the goal line. They get it out to Eberle, and then Eberle with a shot that went over the right shoulder of Lucas Parikh. So Swamp Rabbits get on the board with 7:58 left in the second period. And right now it's anybody's game. Greenville is 15th in the league in goals per game at 3.3 per contest. The Grizzlies are 25th in the league at 2.7 goals per game. So the Swamp Rabbits get on the board after Utah scored first earlier in the second period with Cam Strong. Draw is going to be out towards center ice. Tanner Eberle leads the Swamp Rabbits with 20 goals this season. At home this year, the Swamp Rabbits have outscored opponents 71-55. And Greenville's been a pretty tough team over in their building with a record of 14-4-4. Looks like we've had a little bit of a delay there before we dropped the puck after Greenville's goal. Didn't look like there was any reason to review it. As the Swamp Rabbits fans having a good time over at Bond Secure's Wellness Arena. I wonder if they're looking over this one. They didn't look over the Eberle shot there a few minutes ago that they thought was a goal, but it looks like there's a little bit of a delay after Greenville's first goal.
Well, if anybody's going to blow up because of a denied goal, it would be Eberle having 2 in 1 period being pulled back. But I didn't see anything that would cause to even have it reviewed, let alone being pulled back. Looked like a good goal. He was calling for it. He got wide open on the left-hand side, took that pass, and just immediately went upstairs on Lucas Perique.
So there's 7:58 left in the second period. We're tied at 1. But looks like there is a little bit of a delay before we drop the puck at center ice. The goal scored by Eberle, the assist to Ben Freeman. Freeman gets his 15th assist of the year. And knock on wood, the Grizzlies haven't committed a single penalty here so far. Utah is 0 for 1 on the power play. As the Swamp Rabbits have outshot the Grizzlies 20-19. But Utah does have a 9-7 edge in the second period. So a little bit of a delay before they drop the puck here. This is now it looks like they're going to drop the puck at center ice. Tyler Penner against Ben Freeman, who picked up the assist on the pass to Eberle, who scored on the one-timer. As Greenville dumps it in, and looks like the whistle blows. As looks like Greenville gets called for icing with 7:51 left in the second period. Now it's going to be a penalty on Utah. As I see Andrew Nilsson skating towards the penalty box. Is it going to be a penalty? No, just icing on the Swamp Rabbits. These remote broadcasts sometimes can be something else, especially when the screen is glitching the way it has. But Utah will get an offensive zone draw. And Andrew Nilsson's been one of Utah's best players as of late, as Nilsson has a point in 7 of his last 9 games. And he's also got 11 points in his last 9 contests. Right wing shot goes wide. Fitz was in the area. And now Fitz gets it in the right point. He fires towards the net. And that one goes wide as the puck glides towards the left side. Penner in the area. Greenville spins it back around the wall. It's back towards the right side. Nilsson gets hit. Pfizer with a shot. And that one goes wide as well. Now left wing. Penner fires a shot. Saved by Rennick. And he holds on with 7:24 left in the second. So it looked like the Grizzlies had some good looks there after Greenville had scored. As obviously it's important the first couple shifts after a goal gets scored either way. You know, if you're the one that scored that goal, you want to keep the momentum. And if you allowed the goal, you want to get the momentum back. And it looked like the Grizzlies did a good job there in that shift of trying to get the momentum back in their favor.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the way you want to respond. You can do it physically or just offensive pressure, but anything but to go back on your heels. You want to, assert some type of force and come right back at them.
Jamison will take the face-off in the far circle, and it's won by Greenville. Skates from left to right as the Swamp Rabbits will carry it out to center ice. Irulo gains the line, throws to the left side. They try to fire towards the net. Greenville trips over Perique and dislodges the net. Utah crosses center ice as the Grizz get it back to Cameron Wright on the right side, back to Rabu, trying to get it back towards right. Didn't get much on a pass. Greenville gets it, but their net is dislodged, and so they'll blow the whistle and put the net back in place with 7:03 left in the second period. But good job by the officiating for Greenville and letting the Grizzlies at least get a chance there instead of, prematurely blowing the whistle there and stopping play when, Utah had the puck and they were skating the other way. As a draw, I believe, is going to be in the Greenville zone with 7:03 left in the second period. Next Grizzlies game will be on Friday night. It'll be the first ever meeting between the Grizzlies and the Savannah Ghost Pirates. 5:15 pregame show, face off about 5:30 in the Mountain Time Zone. And then the Grizzlies will have Saturday off. And then Sunday we'll take on the Orlando Solar Bears at 1 o'clock. That game played at Amway Center. And the road trip concludes on Monday with a 5 o'clock start. Utah taking on Orlando. And then the Grizzlies return home. It will be the next Grizzlies home game will be 7 days from now. The next Wednesday, it's going to be a Bud Light College night with discounted student tickets. Face-off will be at 7:10, and then Grizzlies Fight Cancer Weekend will be February 24th and 25th. The Grizzlies are wearing the specialty jersey that I've got up right now. As the Grizzlies specialty jersey, it's actually got my mom's name right here on the lower right of the jersey, and also on the back of the jersey. There's names of a lot of people who have been impacted by cancer. That's the names on the jersey. Face-offs in the Greenville zone as we're back to live action. As Kyle Pouncey at the point bounces it off the Swamp Rabbit as they skeet towards the far side. Greenville out towards center ice as they gather it. as Russell drops it off. The Swamp Rabbits skate towards the left circle. And now in the corner, Greenville spins it along towards the far side as Bryson Martin chips it ahead but didn't get it out of the zone. Puck looks like it's playing pretty slowly tonight as Greenville. Gerads gets pushed by Pouncey. Pouncey knocks down Gerads as Greenville kicks over to the right circle. Utah gets it, and Greenville keeps it in. Swamp Rabbits towards the left circle as they'll skate around the net. They're now to the right side. They fire towards Parikh, and it looks like Lucas makes the save. Rebound goes out to Greenville. They center it, but the pass is behind, and Utah gets it and carries it out to center ice. Dakota Raby nudges ahead to Cameron Wright. Wright skates in. Shot. Saved by Rennick. Puck still in play as Greenville towards the near circle gets it, and they'll chip it ahead. As it bounced off a Grizzly and rolls back towards center ice. Greenville with a hand pass, so they let Utah play it, and Bryson Martin gets the puck in the Grizzly zone. So he'll move it ahead to the left wing. Grizzlies skate in towards the point as Wright gets cut off along the boards. It looks like the puck is playing rather slow there in Greenville. You have to be assertive with your passes as Simeone spins along the boards, rolls back towards the near side. Cam Strong holds up Greenville. Now another Swamp Rabbit skates over there. It looks like the whistle blows with 5:35 left in the second period as Carter Such was in the area. Ethan Samaja, who's got 12 goals this season. 5:35 left in the second timeout. We're back in 1 minute as we're tied at 1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Expectations here will always remain high, and we'll continue to find a way.
Guys put together a lot of good games, you know.
Looks like the Grizzlies get a power play as Max Martin gets 2 minutes for roughing. Time a penalty, 14:25 into the second period. This will be Utah's second power play of the game, and Utah has yet to commit a penalty. Draws in the right circle, taken by Jamison, but this time it's won by Greenville. The Swamp Rabbits clear it out as the Grizzlies will be skating from left to right. As we're tied at 1, as Parikh to the side of his net gets over to Andrew Nilsson, who starts the attack. Nilsson skates down the middle. Now gain neutral ice as Nilsson drops it off for Pfizer. Pfizer crosses center ice as he'll skate towards the middle, take a shot, and it goes wide. Greenville gets it, and they'll spin it along the far boards all the way towards Lucas Parikh, who plays the puck behind his net. About 5 minutes left in the second as Nilsson skates towards his left, gets to neutral ice. He gets around Gerads. Now Nilsson back to the right side, drops it off to center ice. Grizzlies skate back in. Wright skates down the middle. Now veer off to the left circle. He'll feed it back to Nilsson, who fakes a one-timer. Gets it to Jamison, who throws it towards the middle for Wright. He takes a shot, and it's blocked. As skating over towards the corners, Carter Such, who blocked it. He couldn't clear it out, though, as it's cut off in the right point by Cam Strong. Puck goes back to Nilsson, but it goes to center ice. As the Grizzlies will start to filter some players out. First time we've really seen Cam Strong on that top power play unit this season. As Nilsson back in the slot in his own zone, he feeds a right wing pass to Pfizer across the center ice. Pfizer gains the line, dumps it to the corners. He has to get around 3 Swamp Rabbits. As it goes back to Greenville behind their net, they'll throw it out to the right side and it exits the zone as Jordan Martell and James Shearer chase after it. Parikh gets over to Shearer, who skates down the middle. He'll feed a right wing pass to Martell across the center ice. Martell gains the line. He nudges to his left. Grizzlies towards the corner. Martin gets up top for Martell. Across to Shearer, back to Martin in the left side. Now to Raby, back towards Shearer, but the pass is wide of the mark as it went between the two guys up top, and it goes back into the Grizzlies zone. 15 seconds left in the Grizzlies power play as Utah stations himself behind Parikh. And now the Grizzlies will throw it over to the near side for Martell. Martell gains center ice. Now he skates towards the right side, gets over to Raby. Raby gets it back to Martell. Shot saved by Rennick. Puck goes towards the far side. That does it for the Grizzlies power play as Utah is now 0 for 2 on the man advantage. As the puck squirts towards Grizzlies territory near the Greenville bench, Swamp Rabbits poke it away. As Max Martin, fresh out of the box, skates towards the right circle. I look to center it, but the Grizzlies dove in front of the centering pass out in the slot. Now Utah crosses center. They don't have numbers. As Raby skates towards the left side, he gets tripped up. Is there going to be a call? Doesn't look like it. As Grizzlies deliver ahead as the puck rolls towards the right side, Martin gets physical as it goes out to center ice. McDonald in the area gets a shot, and now we got a big hit at center ice. The arm is raised, and I think that should be a penalty on Greenville. Boy, Grizzly went down, and it was Aaron Tho as he collided with Greenville and Max Martin. The door opens up, and Martin goes back into the box for the second time here in the second period as he's in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. Have you or someone you know been charged with a DUI? Rogers and Russell is Utah's DUI defense firm. Consequences for driving under the influence in Utah are serious, and you need great attorneys on your first line. Look for a letter in the mail from Rogers and Russell inviting you to schedule a free consultation. Don't throw away or disregard this letter. Call and get Utah's best DUI defense team, Rogers and Russell. Well, there was a big hit at center ice. Max Martin colliding with Aaron Tho, and Martin got a second penalty of the second period.
Hopefully we can do something more with this opportunity. I noticed we had a few problems passing, but hopefully we can generate something here.
Greenville wins the face-off, and they clear it out. The Swamp Rabbits really dominated in the face-off circle in the first two periods. And as Tim mentioned, see if the Grizzlies can generate some opportunities. As Andrew Nilsson skates towards the near side, it's Utah's third power play of the game. Greenville's yet to get a power play. Pfizer feeds a left-wing pass to the Grizzlies, who skate in on side. Utah around the net. They get it back to the right side for Nilsson. He'll feed it to the left side for Wright. One-timer, he scores! Grizzlies take the lead as Cameron Wright fired from the left side. It might have gotten redirected by a Swamp Rabbit, and it goes to the back of the net. So just as Tim mentioned, the Grizzlies do something on this power play as Cameron Wright fired away from the left circle past Rennick. It was kind of an awkward-looking shot that might have gotten redirected by somebody. As with 2:35 left in the second, the Grizzlies take a 2-1 lead. It looked like as they show a replay, there was a Swamp Rabbit out in front. There was also there was also Keaton Jamison. Jamison looks like he redirected it. If he did, it looked like it was borderline as to whether it was high or not, but they're not even going to look at it. Utah leads 2-1 as Jamison might have redirected the Cameron Wright shot, as now we got some action at neutral ice. The Grizzlies or Swamp Rabbits tried to dump it in. 2:27 left in the second, and we'll see if there's a penalties. They showed they went away from the action on the ice as the whistle blew, and then both linesmen chased after towards the near boards. That just looks like an offside call as Utah wins the draw. 2:25 left in the second. Out to the right side. Pfizer crosses center. 2-on-2. Pfizer skates towards the right circle. He gets around to Swamp Rabbit. He'll take a shot. Saved by Rennick. Rebound goes out to the left side. Grizzlies in the corners. We skate 5-on-5. Now to the left point. Grizzlies chipping out in front. Shot saved by Rennick. Now right wing shot saved by Rennick again. Puck goes to the left point. As the Grizzlies just outside the circle, they tried to get it to Martin, who tried to extend his stick as he was cutting towards the net. Couldn't get a shot off, but he got the puck. He skates towards the right point and gets pushed out to center ice. Now the Grizzlies back in their own zone. Will pitch it ahead as it goes towards Swamp Rabbits territory. Penner gets it. Stops as he was skating towards the corner as he loses the puck. As Greenville with 1:44 and counting left in the second, they trail 2-1. Swamp Rabbits throw a rink-wide pass. It's picked off by McDonald. Now Cameron Wright feeds it to the left side as the Grizzlies cross center as they drop it back for Wright. Wright skates towards the left circle, take a shot. Saved by Rennick. And he holds on with 1:31 left in the second period as Utah leads 2-1. Let's see if we can find the details of the Grizzlies goal as Utah scored on the power play, and it looks like they've been a little bit slow. Actually, it's Cameron Wright getting his 14th of the year. Well, for a second, I thought Keaton Jamison redirected it, but it's probably good that he didn't, because if he would have redirected it, it was probably about borderline, about chest high, where they could have called that he played with a high stick.
Right, exactly. It looked like Rennick initially made a move for the glove, but that shot from Wright just came in too hot and really handcuffed him.
That's Wright's 5th power play goal of the season. He leads the Grizzlies with 14 goals on the season. Cam Strong now has a multiple-point game, a goal and an assist, and Keaton Jamison gets his 10th assist of the campaign. As Greenville wins the draw, they'll skate back towards the Utah blue line. Utah skates from left to right here in the second period. Grizzlies dump it back into the Swamp Rabbit zone as Ethan Cap will throw it to the left side, and now the Swamp Rabbits skate in, and they tried to fire it across the crease, and it goes wide. They had Parikh off balance. Now in the slot, Swamp Rabbits feed it out in front. Shot saved by Parikh. What a stop by Lucas. The puck goes towards the left corner. As Greenville skates around the net, Kemp gets it taken away by McDonald on the back check. Connor throws to the right point. Swamp Rabbits keep it in. Greenville throws it towards the high slot. It bounced off 2 sticks. Now the Swamp Rabbits skate towards the middle. Utah pokes it away. As they get it out towards center. Greenville back into their own zone. As there's 40 seconds left in the second period, they move it ahead. Swamp Rabbits right side kick it across, and the pass goes wide towards the corner. As Utah, McDonald gets it back to Raby as the Grizzlies move it ahead. Raby towards center ice, but the guy he was looking for is Keaton Jamison, who fell down. As the Swamp Rabbits throw it out towards Grizzlies territory. It's still at neutral ice. Grizzlies battling as now Greenville skates in. As Eberle will take a left wing shot, saved by Parikh. 15 seconds left in the second. Puck behind Utah's net. As the Grizz skate towards the near side, they'll ricochet it off the boards. Greenville skates over there, but Wright will get it and bat it out to center ice. Swamp Rabbits will get the rolling puck, and time will run out in the second period. Utah's 14-1 when leading after 2, and they've got a 2-1 lead. As nobody scored in the first period. Cam Strong gave Utah 1-0 lead, 1:48 in, with Raby and McDonald getting the assists. Tanner Eberle got his 20th of the season as he scored 12:02 in, with Ben Freeman getting the assist. And the deciding goal right now is Cameron Wright, who scored a power play goal with 17:31 into the second period. So with about 2.5 minutes left in the second, with Keaton Jamison and Cam Strong getting the assists. Strong's been outstanding tonight. He has 1 goal and 1 assist. Cameron Wright leads Utah with 6 shots on goal. And Lucas Parikh's been outstanding in net for the Grizzlies, stopping all but 1. When we come back in 2 minutes, we'll have second intermission coverage presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott as Utah leads 2-1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Second intermission over at Bond Secures Wellness Arena. Utah leads Greenville 2-1. I'm Tyson Whiting, hanging out with Tim Broussard as we're in the lobby at Maverick Center, 2 time zones away. But for the Grizzlies, they've got a 2-1 lead. Neither team scored in the first period. Greenville outshot Utah 13-10. There was only 1 penalty in the first period as Bobby Russell got a holding minor, 3:55 in. Well, for the Grizzlies, they scored first tonight, and Utah's 12-3 when scoring first this year. It's only the 16th time the Grizzlies have scored first this season. Cam Strong got his 7th of the year, Dakota Raby, and Connor McDonald with the assist. McDonald is probably like a half pass and half shot from the left point that bounced off of Strong's stick and then kind of flew off his stick and over the shoulder of Greenville and into the back of the net. For some reason, even though it looks like David Rennick is starting for Greenville, the box score has the other goaltender playing, Ryan Bednard. So if we've been fooled in the first 2 periods, I think it is Rennick in net, but for some reason, Greenville doesn't know their own guy. So it looks like, Rennick is in net. He has stopped 21 of 23. Greenville tied it up 12:02 into the second period. Tanner Eberle scored from the left side. He gets his 20th of the year, with Ben Freeman getting his 15th assist of the campaign. And Eberle, before that, probably about 5 minutes before that, thought that he had tied the game. It was late in the first segment of play. They did not review it, even though I thought that, Tim and I had thought that it either hit the crossbar or it hit the back of the net so quickly and just squirted back out. Either way, they didn't even look like they reviewed it, and it stayed a 1-0 game at that point. And then Eberle got a goal, and he's probably thinking to himself, this time it counts, as he scored 12:02. And then Max Martin decided to hit the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. He ended up hitting it twice. He got 2 minutes for roughing, 14:25 in. Grizzlies didn't really get any good looks on that power play. And then Martin came out of the box, and 31 seconds later, he returned to the penalty box with another roughing minor. Grizzlies ended up making it count, as in the first half of the power play, Grizzlies had a good look with Cameron Wright. He was on the left side. Keaton Jamison was in front of the net, and it kind of looked like it awkwardly. Either that or my screen froze and was just kind of going frame by frame. But so Wright shot from the left side, and it ended up going in. And it's probably a good thing that Jamison didn't get a piece of it, because if he did, his stick was probably about chest high or so, maybe even neck high, and probably could have been ruled that he played it with a high stick if he did play it. But luckily, he didn't get a piece of it, according to the officials. And Cameron Wright scores his team leading 14th of the year. He now has 4 power play goals on the campaign, or I think he might have 5 power play goals by now. But how about the game that Cam Strong has played? He gets an assist on the Cameron Wright goal, and Cam Strong now has 1 goal and 1 assist tonight. And if you think about, who would be the number 1 star this evening, it could either be Cam Strong or it could be Lucas Preek. And looking at back, it is the 5th power play goal by Cameron Wright this year. But you think about Lucas Preek, who stopped 21 of 22 in net, as Greenville outshot Utah 13-10 in the first period, and in the second, the Grizzlies outshot the Swamp Rabbits 13-9. Utah is 1 for 3 on the power play, and the Grizz have not committed a penalty. They've really done a great job balancing playing a physical brand of hockey, and the Grizzlies have been physical in the first 40 minutes of play, and they've also done a good job staying out of the penalty box. Utah is 2nd in the league in penalty minutes per game this season, but the Grizzlies doing a good job playing discipline and staying out of the box here in the first 40 minutes. And Tim Broussard, I think this is exactly what you look for the Grizzlies here in the first 2 periods.
Right. So the first period, they were able to withstand, bend, not break. Got close a couple times, had to call on Lucas Preek a number of times to kind of, bail him out, save the bacon kind of thing. And then look at what happened when the roles were reversed early in the second period. You almost had that goal by committee, and the 30 to 45 seconds of offensive zone possession that the Grizzlies had right before Strong put that in there, and coming off of Raby, who's his first time back and after injury, so everything is just clicking and meshing. This is the game that the Grizzlies wanted to have. They scored first. They kept them the Swamp Rabbits off the board in the first period, and they're in control now. I feel bad for Lucas Preek a little bit, because he might have to make that 1 goal stand going the rest of the way, given what we don't have as far as offensive threats for the rest of the for at least the rest of the series, probably until we get help from Colorado. But the guys are just going to have to rise above and become that team and figure out who's going to be providing that offensive threat.
And of course, Grizzlies still without 2 talented forwards in Zach Sekos and Johnny Walker. Unfortunately, Walker got a cheap shot from one of the Helgeson brothers on Saturday. Now, Helgeson did get thrown out of the game. He did get a game misconduct, and the Grizzlies get a major power play, though. It is disappointing to see that Kenton Helgeson did not serve a suspension due to the hit that has knocked Johnny Walker not only out of that game, as he didn't return to the contest on Saturday, but Walker's probably out the entire road trip. So And it's disappointing that the league didn't do anything more there, but hey, it is what it is. For the Grizzlies, shots been pretty even, but, Bill Walsh, the former San Francisco 49ers coach, had a quote that I think applies to all sports. You got to beat your man to the punch. You got to be the aggressor. You really got, and really I think it comes down to, things like 50-50 pucks and winning those foot races and things like that. Well, the Grizzlies, it seemed like, have struggled winning those battles along the board here in the month of February. And it looks like the Grizzlies are really holding their own there. And, as I mentioned before, it's kind of, they're putting together the perfect balance of playing physical and yet playing discipline and staying out of the penalty box. And I think guys like James Shearer and Connor McDonald have done an outstanding job with that.
Yeah, and 50-50 pucks, right? So that also includes faceoffs. We didn't do very good the first half of this game on faceoffs at all, and that balance is now being corrected and rectified, and that's the same as a 50-50 puck. So we're starting to gain those 50-50 pucks. I like what I'm seeing so far. I've also seen that early in the game, if you look, you're watching Greenville advance up the boards, and kind of almost like we'll shut down center ice, but they were able to move through and gain the neutral zone without much problem going along the boards. Well, we've now I guess slowed that down or made it a little bit more difficult, so Greenville doesn't necessarily have a green pass right into our offensive zone without having some type of either physical play, or you're going to have to go through Nelson or some type of contested passing. So they're having to be a little bit more creative and work a little bit harder to gain their offensive zone against us.
Seems like every team's always got that 1-4 that's going to, put together a high shot count. I remember a few years ago, it was Ryan Walters when he was in a Grizzlies uniform. He'd take a ton of shots. And I think Cameron Wright, to a certain extent, is a pretty similar player to Ryan Walters, although Wright's a little bit bigger than what Walters was. But Cameron Wright had 1 shot in the first period. He had 5 in the second. As Cameron Wright, for most of the season, has led all Grizzlies, or not only led the Grizzlies in shots by a wide margin, but he leads all league rookies in shots on goal. And he had 5 shots in the second period, and he made that one count on the power plays. Right now, he's got the deciding goal in the game as he scored with 2:29 left in the second period. And, when Cameron Wright's playing aggressive like that, when you see Bryson Martin and Dakota Raby with 3 shots, and I think Bryson Martin's playing one of his best games in a Grizzlies uniform. And, I think you think about the importance of Dakota Raby. It's possible he might have underestimated over the last 5 games what missing Dakota Raby really means to this hockey club.
Arguably the fastest guy on the team, and incredible blade work. He has that cut move where he'll advance down the right side and then just lay on the blades, and then has this crazy move where he moves over to the goaltender against and can somehow sweep it in. But we saw him early in the game being able to relieve pressure so that the Grizzlies got at least, get a successful line change in there. And then now, he's been rewarded with assist right here. And just that overall, gosh, he's kind of being that go-to guy, filling almost that Trey Bradley type role from last year, being able, if he's not necessarily scoring, at least he's being able to generate something. He's got 2 shots on goal?
3 shots.
3 shots on goal. And the other one is Martin. So, when you were talking about Wright with the shots, the other guys are starting to find lanes, and that's really important for your success going into those last 20 minutes, because the more guys who can find that lane and find that angle in, the more pressure that we can generate. And it's not just one guy doing that.
If the Grizzlies play like they did the first 2 periods, looks like they should be fine over the last 2 months of the season. So it's going to be fun to see what happens here in the third as the Grizzlies look to protect a 1-goal lead. But obviously, it's just 1 goal and you're on road ice. And so for the Grizzlies, they have to continue to be aggressive and yet, make sure that they don't let Greenville get those odd man rushes and get those 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s. And so really, it's a 1-goal lead heading into the third. But there's still a lot of hockey to be played. What do the Grizzlies need to do here in the third in order to find a way to secure 2 standings points?
Keep contesting the Swamp Rabbits, advance through the zone, make them work. It's kind of like Brady, right? Don't let him go to his first option every time. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of problems. So keep contesting, getting him those passing lanes, stepping up. Stay out of the box. That's been part of it. We can't have Andrew Nelson go back into his where he gets frustrated or whatever, or he takes a bad penalty. Let's stay on this side of that. We already have, we're up three power plays and they have yet to even get 1. So stay disciplined, and then want it, earn it. You've got 20 minutes to go. Lucas Preek might have to make this stand, the one goal against, and then just that might have to be good enough for the game. So be ready to have the centerman come back on defense and shut it down. Back check should be a key word that you're saying if we're going to be successful.
Well, I'm concerned, considering if the officials get the box score, they might try to kind of even up the power plays in the third period. Hopefully the Grizzlies stay disciplined and stay out of the penalty box. You mentioned Andrew Nilsson. He leads the club with 131 penalty minutes this season. Speaking of which, Michael Pellick, who played in his 860th ECHL game, he would commit some minor penalties from time to time. And really for Andrew Nilsson, it was good to see him play physical, and he kind of got away with one earlier in the game, which is nice to see, because it never seems like Andrew Nilsson gets away with physical play at all. It seems like anytime he lays any sort of contact on an opposing player, he goes to the box. For some reason, because of his size, that he just can't seem to get away with any sort of physical play. And it's good to see Andrew Nilsson be physical and yet get away with it, as he did in the first two periods of play. When we come back to the Grizzlies intermission report, we'll have third period action, and we'll also go over some scores from around the ECHL. We're back in 1 minute as Utah leads 2-1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Now we're about set to start third period action over at Bon Secure's Wellness Arena. It's the only meeting for the Grizzlies and Swamp Rabbits this year. They last met on February 1st, 2020. I remember because I was there, and it was one of the more interesting games I saw all season before it got canceled a month later. The Grizzlies led 4-0 after one period. I remember Brandon Sajan scored one of the goals, and by that time, we'd given him the nickname the Ragin' Sajan. And I think I actually saw somewhere that Brandon Sajan's in this league in the Eastern Conference, and I actually saw that he's leading his team in scoring. I don't remember which club it is, but he looks like he's having a pretty good year, and it looks like Quinn Ryan, who was with the club last year, he's doing a good job over in Worcester. So the Grizzlies led 4-0, and if I remember right, Greenville actually scored one goal late in the first period, and then they scored 3 in the second. So Utah led 4-0, and then Greenville scored 4 goals, and before you knew it, halfway through the second period, it was tied. And then with about 2.5 minutes left in regulation, Yuri Terreo took a shot, and Mitch Maxwell redirected it, and the Grizzlies ended up taking a 5-4 lead at that point, and then Ty Lewis got an empty netter at the end. And as I was thinking back to that team, back to the 2019-2020 club, that's maybe the biggest what-if in Grizzlies history, because that was the team that had the best winning percentage of anybody in club history. Even the Turner Cup championship team didn't have the winning percentage that they had that year, but the season ended in the second week of March due to the COVID pandemic. And that becomes a what-if, because you think about the talent that group had. I mean, who knows what could have happened. That club was a lot of fun to watch, and unfortunately, it's a storybook that is missing the last few chapters. We have absolutely no clue how that season would have ended.
Right. That's like the Marvel What If series, you don't know, but it's unfortunate the amount of chemistry that unit had, and the speed and the talent and the people that were playing well that didn't even necessarily play well after that, like Yuri Terreo. But for that 10 minutes of time, they were the team to beat. And well, I guess we'll never know. We can always surmise, but we won't know.
As for tonight's game, the Grizzlies looking to end a 5-game losing streak. I think for the Grizz, as you mentioned, Lucas Preek's going to have to be big in the third period, just as he was in the first two frames. And I really do think that, you think about Cameron Wright and the Grizzlies, I really do think need to play discipline in the third period. And I am concerned the Grizzlies had the 3 power plays and didn't commit one, because you almost wonder if the tide's going to turn there in the third period, and all of a sudden those close calls end up going against the Grizzlies' way, and they end up in the box.
Well, that Lord, their head coach, has been in the referee's ear the entire night, and at some point they might choose something like a Super Bowl penalty or something like that, and go a little bit ticky tack on it. You don't want to see that, but it's a natural reaction, just so that maybe the ref doesn't have to answer it, and he's going to give it his all, but it would be something that would be close, and hopefully the Grizzlies stay very conscientious about that. They're aware of that, and they can stay out of that, because keeping on the right side of the odd man is going to be key for this third period.
We're about set to start third period action as the puck is dropped to center ice. The Grizzlies win it. They're going to be skating from right to left as we see it on Flow Sports. Your mind's eye see it on YouTube. As the Greenville Swamp Rabbits will be skating from left to right. As the Grizz dump it in, and Greenville chases after it. No icing as the Swamp Rabbits in their orange jerseys throw it out to center ice. Utah picks it off. Now Greenville gets it back right side as the Swamp Rabbits enter the zone. As they'll skate towards the slot, they'll take a lefty shot. And looks like Preek makes the save as Freeman was out in the area. And boy, my screen glitched a little bit, so I couldn't see the shot, but it looks like Preek is held on as we get our first whistle 26 seconds into the third period. This broadcast is presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott, producing premier American copper and proudly celebrating 120 years of operations in the Utah community. Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. The shot's been pretty close to even here throughout. Keaton Jamison will take the draw against Ben Freeman. Freeman's done a good job in the faceoff circle tonight. He's got an assist for the Swamp Rabbits. Utah wins the draw. Andrew Nilsson feeds over to the far side. It goes into the Swamp Rabbits territory. Raby stops on the right side. I look to center to right, and Greenville poked it away. As Greenville cuts across center ice, Swamp Rabbits gain the line. They skate towards the left side, back to the corner. Nilsson delivers a hit. Shearer over there as well. Jamison in the area. Cameron Wright and Raby surveying. As Greenville, Anthony Beauchamp gets the puck. He skates towards the right corner, and he gets blasted behind Utah's net by Raby. As Beauchamp feeds it back along the end wall. Nilsson gets spun around. Shearer takes the puck. He's got an A on his sweater. Over towards Raby in the right corner, deep in the Grizzlies zone. Greenville skates towards neutral ice as Raby will carry it out of the zone himself. He'll skate towards the left side. Now bouncing off the skate of Kemp. As puck goes back to Utah, they're still on their own end as Shearer will feed it ahead to Raby. Raby glides it towards Strong. Strong's already had a good game. Skates towards the left circle. Takes a shot. Saved by Greenville. And that's Rennick as the Grizzlies towards the left corner. Bryson Martin centers it. It bounced off a Swamp Rabbit stick. Goes back to Utah's. Raby skates towards the right side. He moves it ahead. Utah couldn't get a handle on it as the Swamp Rabbits skate behind their net. As Greenville towards the near side will feed a blue line to blue line pass, and it connects. Greenville skates towards the right side, siren pass, shot. Oh, he goes wide as Preek was out there in front of the net, and the shot went towards the near side. Now Greenville to the left circle, good poke check by the Grizz. As Utah, out to their blue line, will move it ahead to center ice for Simeone. Now he loses the puck as it goes back to Greenville across the center ice. Simeone looked to deliver a hit, but looked like Greenville avoided it. They'll dump it in as the Grizzlies. Connor McDonald back behind his net gets it taken away. Now centering pass lefty, shot. And it goes wide as Greenville towards the right side. As Penner in the area, he gets hit up high. No call. As Greenville, number 37, Joe Gattenbeat, is a plus 16 this season. As the puck lifts high into the air, it's behind Utah's net towards the end boards. Lord Anthony Grissom looks to center it, and it's cut off by Preek, who holds on with 17:27 left in the third. Actually, it was Alex Irulo. And you got to be careful about him because he's put together amazing numbers this year. So Utah leads 2-1, 17:27 left in the third. As they show a big hit delivered by Lord Anthony Grissom on Taryn Pfizer. So that looks like it's the hit of the game. And well, it looks like every Wednesday over in Greenville, they have dogs attend the games, kind of like Pooch on the Pond, but they do it more frequently. It's every Wednesday home game in Greenville. As the draw won by the Grizz, they're in their own zone. As Andrew Nilsson behind his net, Utah leads 2-1, 17:20 and counting left in the third. He'll feed it to the far side. Grizzlies blue line to blue line pass, and it bounced off a Swamp Rabbit. As Greenville towards the near side will backhand it off of Penner. Penner's in the left wing. He overskates the puck, and somehow it ends up back in the corner as Greenville skates around their net. As we're about 3 minutes into the third period, Swamp Rabbits out to center ice. They cross center. Greenville gains the line. They'll feed it over towards the right side. Drads with a shot. Saved by Preek. And make that Josh McKechnie took the shot. Preek makes the save as McKechnie skated towards the right circle and fired away. He's got 24 points in 39 games. And so Lucas remains perfect here in the third period as the draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Cameron Wright leads Utah with 6 shots. The Grizz look for their 11th road victory of the season. Draws give me in the right circle, taken by Jamison against Freeman. Freeman wins it. Right side, lefty shot goes wide. That was taken by Max Martin. Cameron Wright skates towards the far side. He pitchforks it out to the blue line. Keaton Jamison across to Raby. Raby gets around a skater across the center. He'll feed it to the right side. Grizzlies get back to Raby, who swings and misses from the slot. He gets it back as Raby towards the near boards. Faked it to Pouncey. Now it goes back towards right. He skates towards his right. He'll take a righty shot, and it goes wide as he tried to go glove side on Rennick. Now, Greenville will clear it out to center. Swamp Rabbits, potential 3-on-2. They skate down the middle. Greenville with a lefty shot, and it's blocked by Pouncey. The Swamp Rabbits towards the left side get pushed by Martin. As Greenville gets pushed in the corner, Martin over there, so is Jamison. As puck goes back to Cameron Wright, who will ricochet it off the boards. Right with a slash, he gets away with it. As Greenville, right wing, carries it across the lines. They skate towards the right side, centering pass. It's poked away by Bryson Martin. It rolls back to Utah as Martell. Ahead, it goes over the head of Simeone. As the Swamp Rabbits back in their own end, and we get a whistle. 15:55 left in the third, as something must have happened away from the play. As Utah leads 2-1. Tim, what have you seen so far here in the third?
Things slowing down a little bit. You called it towards the end of the second period. Things slowing, the puck being a little bit slow, maybe a little bit choppy, seeing that. And honestly, I'd almost have to say that plays into the hand of the Grizzlies, where they can get a little bit more physical and exert a little bit more force.
Draw in the Swamp Rabbit zone. Greenville wins the face-off, and the Grizzlies will skate back into their own end, skating from right to left. As Utah out towards center ice, but it's taken back by Greenville. As now Utah pokes it back to center, and now the Swamp Rabbits have it deep in their own zone as neither team really possessing the puck here for an extended period of time as Greenville gains center ice and dumps it to the far corner. McDonald will bounce it off a Swamp Rabbit as Christian Simeone gets physical. Connor McDonald moves it ahead as the Grizzlies skate back towards their blue line. Now they dish it out to center. It's bounced off the Swamp Rabbit body. Greenville moves it ahead. Swamp Rabbit skate towards the right circle, take a righty shot. And it goes wide. Preek might have gotten a glove on it as the puck stays in play. Simeone will bounce it off the Swamp Rabbit. It goes back into the Grizzlies zone. McDonald pushes it out to center. Now Greenville will glide it off a Grizzlies skate. Utah gains center ice. McCallchuk backhands it in. Good to see McCallchuk back after missing 12 straight games. Greenville throws out into the Grizzlies zone. Long-range pass doesn't connect as the Grizz skate towards the near corner and moving out towards Fitz. As the Swamp Rabbits back to the right side, spin it behind the net. As Greenville skates towards the right side, Shearer shadowing. And it goes back over towards Martin. Now to the right point. Greenville feeds it to the high slot. Now they skate towards their left. Swamp Rabbits skate towards the left circle. 5.5 minutes into the third. As Greenville just to the left side, fires towards the net and didn't get much on it as they moved it ahead. Now lefty shot saved by Preek. Rebound goes to Utah. They spin it towards the near boards. As Grizz will backhand it into the zone. As Penner chases after it, but the Swamp Rabbits get there first, and they'll bounce it off of Fitz that goes into Grizzlies territory. Greenville gains the line. Big-time hit delivered by the Grizzlies and Bryson Martin, who's been very physical tonight. Martin gains center ice. They'll throw a right-wing pass. Pfizer skates towards the right circle. I look to find Martin out in front, but he couldn't accept the pass. It rolls towards Rennick, who kicks it towards the near side. Greenville gets it back as they skate towards the far side. 13:50 left in the third and counting as Utah still leads 2-1. Swamp Rabbits throw a blue line to blue line pass. It doesn't connect, and icing is on Greenville with 13:45 left in the third. Shots look like they're dead even right now, 25 apiece, as Greenville has outshot Utah 3-2, or make that now Greenville has a 27-25 edge on shots, as Rennick has stopped 23 of 25 for Greenville. Lucas Preek has stopped 26 of 27. Cam Strong has 1 goal and 1 assist tonight. I think it's the second multiple-point game of the season. Grizzlies win the draw. They're in the offensive zone. As they feed it to the right side now, out in front to Raby. It bounced off the end boards. Raby gets it. He skates towards the right side. Now Raby in the high slot skates towards the left side. He's got great speed. He's over to the left circle. Now around the net looking for a wraparound shot. Saved by Rennick. Rebound shot and a score! Cameron Wright gets his second of the game, and Utah gets some insurance as they've taken a 3-1 lead. Where Raby made that play as he skated from, kind of did a complete circle around the net, bounced it off of Rennick, and Cameron Wright with the rebound put it away for his second of the game. Boy, what a job by the Grizzlies and Dakota Raby. And so Cameron Wright with the rebound gets the second of the game and team leading 15th of the season. As they show Michael Scott from the office yelling, no, please, no. You bet. The Grizzlies lead by 3, or they lead by 2. 3-1's the score. So Utah gets some insurance as the Grizz are now up by 2. Utah wins the faceoff. They skate towards the left side. Raby with great speed looks to center it towards Jamison. He gets held up so he couldn't get a shot off, and it goes out to center ice. Though gets it back for Utah. He'll skate towards his left now. He'll move it ahead as it goes deep into the Greenville zone, and looks like everybody stopped skating, so icing is on the Grizzlies with 13:08 left in the third period. But the speed of Dakota Raby's made a huge impact for the Grizzlies, not only tonight, but all season long. And he was really the one that was instrumental in making that play. We have yet to officially see whether it's Raby or Wright that got the goal. It looked like Cameron Wright took the shot, but the way that some players reacted made it look like that Raby had the puck in the back of the net. But either way, the Grizzlies lead 3-1. Utah wins the draw. They'll throw it back into the Swamp Rabbits zone. Greenville chases after it. Good job by Dakota Raby forcing Greenville to play it. Goes back to center ice to the left side looking for McCallchuck, and the pass goes wide as Greenville moves it out to center. Taken back by Utah, who feeds to the left side for Raby. Now across to the right side. Grizzlies fire a right wing shot, and it goes wide and out of play. 12:42 left in the third. Utah leads 3-1. Cameron Wright's got 2 goals, and Cam Strong has 1 goal and 1 assist. And Dakota Raby has 2 assists tonight. We're back in 1 minute. So Grizzlies 3 and the Swamp Rabbits 1. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey, presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Utah leads 3-1 as Cameron Wright gets his second of the game. Time at goal 6:33 into the third period. Dakota Raby and Connor McDonald with the assists. So Raby and McDonald both have 2 assists for the Grizzlies. Both Raby and McDonald are a +2 as we're back to live action. Grizzlies in the offensive zone. James Shearer around the boards. Utah won the faceoff. Martell gets held up along the far side. Grizzlies skate towards the point, but it goes back to center ice. Utah still in control of the puck as they'll throw it back to Shearer. He'll feed it across as Utah's up by 2. Grizz with a rink-wide pass towards the left side and out of the zone. Looks like Utah's called for icing with 12:22 left in the third period. But, Tim, what'd you see from that last goal by Utah?
Oh, that was all Raby. He came so fast around the corner, and then when he was facing Rannick, he kind of gave him a little shoulder shimmy and shake, and what that did is it kept Rannick honest against the post and couldn't leave the post early to go cover. And then Raby was able to, throw that wrap around to the side. It didn't go in, but Wright was Johnny on the spot and buried it.
Greenville wins the draw on the offensive zone. Near side shot saved by Preek as Nilsson delivers a hit on. That's going to be Utah's first penalty of the game. Delayed call as Greenville throws it back to the right point. Now across. Delayed penalty. Left side. Greenville feeds the circle. Now back up top. As the Swamp Rabbits get a 6th guy on the ice. Left point. Shot goes wide. Taken by Ben Freeman. He'll skate behind the net as he's being shadowed by Shearer. Now feed it to the left side. Greenville nudges around the net. Now the Swamp Rabbits back in the left corner. Get hit by Shearer. James touches it up, and we get a whistle as Andrew Nilsson is going to go to the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. 2-minute penalty as Nilsson will serve 2 minutes, I believe, as he got physical on the near side, and the call was made. So Greenville is going to be on the power play for the first time this evening. The Swamp Rabbits this season are 20.6% on the power play. They're 14th in the league. The Grizzlies had the 14th best penalty kill unit in the league at 80.8%. So for the first time tonight, Greenville can put their power play graphic up as Andrew Nilsson gets penalty minutes 132 and 133 on the season, as he's among the league leaders. As Nilsson gets a towel and wipes his shield, as Utah's up 3-1, but this is a chance for Greenville to get back in the game as they draw one by the Swamp Rapids. This is Max Martin in the slot. Feeds it to Irulo. Back to Martin, who dishes to the left side. Now back to Martin, over to Irulo. Irulo over towards Martin. Back to Irulo. It will switch places with Martin. Now Irulo's in the high slot. He'll fire a lefty shot, and it gets blocked out in front. And Greenville pushes Preek into the back of the net, and they've scored. As Anthony Beauchamp was out in front of the net, then Preek kind of got dragged towards the back of the net. Utah argues the call, but it looks like Greenville scored a power play tally with 11:28 left in the third. And I imagine they might take a look at it to see if there was goaltender interference. There was a lot of traffic out in front of the shot, out in front of Lucas Preek. And before you know it, there was a lot of action, and Preek just kind of got dragged into the back of the net. And that's when the official signaled that it was a good goal. So that's one of those they might take a second look at. But right now, Greenville's cut into the Utah lead.
Hopefully they do. Now, remember, the other players are allowed in the crease once the puck is there first. So it's to have goaltender interference, or that becomes a lot more difficult to call. But
looks like they are taking a second look at it.
And as well they should, because just you can't take the goalie and push him into the back of the net and have that count as a goal. So hopefully we haven't seen anything up here, but hopefully they'll show that it was goaltender interference.
It did look like Preek was, trying to cover it up, and then before you knew it, he just kind of got dragged into his net, and I don't think there's any coincidence that's when the official signaled goal. So, we'll see if anything comes of it, as Martin took the shot, and then it just kind of bounced off a couple sticks. Oh, I wonder, what might have happened. It looked like Beauchamp was out in front of the net. I wonder if McDonald, who was skating over to try to help out, I wonder if McDonald pushed Beauchamp into Preek, and then Preek glided towards the net. As it looks like we see a replay on Tim Broussard's computer, and I wonder if that goal stands. That might be the thing that helps them out a little bit. You know what happened? Beauchamp got pushed with McDonald, and then it looked like 17 came in and nudged McKechnie, ended up nudging into the back of the net himself. Kind of an odd-looking play.
Yeah. I'd agree with that, unfortunately, but yeah, that's what it looks like happened right off that replay.
So I wonder if the goal's going to count. I would guess that they just determined that McDonald is the guy that pushed Beauchamp and kind of put Preek off balance a little bit, and then it wasn't Beauchamp that scored. It looked like it was McKechnie who came in the last second on kind of a drive-by and put it away for what would be his 8th goal of the season. And Scher was out in front nearby, and they're continuing to look it over again. So they've gone to video replay. It looks like they've gone to replay a little bit. That's kind of a tough call, but I kind of think the goal is going to stand based on what we've seen.
I think you're right. The call on McKechnie coming over, just kind of watching, and as the scrum is there over in the crease, and then it kind of just squirts out, and McKechnie just buries it.
So it would be a power play goal for Greenville on their first power play of the game, as they're continuing to take a look at it. And I guess it's one of those where if you look at McDonald, he's on the right side, how much off balance does Preek get? And does he get off balance because of the Greenville guy? Now, if you're the defender, can you push the offensive player into the defensive player's goaltender and then, create goaltender interference that way? I don't think so. If the momentum of an opposing player gets you into it, push you into the goalie.
Yeah, it would be waved off at that point. If you're a defender like Andrew Nilsson, well, obviously he's in the box, but Connor McDonald or whatever pushes an offensive player into your goalie, that does not count as goalie interference.
So video replay, Greenville thinks that they have cut into the Utah lead. If the goal counts, it's 3-2 Utah. If the goal is disallowed, then Utah will have a 3-1 lead. And Greenville will continue on the power play, as Nilsson was in the box serving 2 minutes for, I think, roughing. If it wasn't roughing, it was obviously some other hockey rule that he broke.
I'll give you that one. That's a safe bet.
Cross-checking is the call on Andrew Nilsson, 8:13 into the third period, as we're seeing a bunch of sponsored logos, and they're continuing to take this over. And this is really a critical play in the game, because it's a golden opportunity for Greenville to get back in the contest, as the Grizzlies have really done a good job here in the final period and a half, as neither team scored in the first, and then Grizzlies took a 1-0 lead as Cam Strong redirected a Connor McDonald shot 148 in. Tanner Eberle scored 12:02 in to tie it up for Greenville. And Cameron Wright, and it looks like they have determined that it's a good goal. And so Greenville's taking a power play tally, and it's going to be McKechnie getting his 8th of the year. So the goal counts as they looked it over for quite some time. There are 2 referees and 2 linesmen tonight, as there's 2 referees in about 25% of league games this season. So Cameron Wright scored twice for Utah to make it 3-1, and Josh McKechnie had found the back of the net as it doesn't look like Beauchamp really made a bunch of contact with Parikh. As we're back to live action, out to neutral ice. So Swamp Rabbits dump it back in. Bryson Martin, who's had a good game, will pitch it ahead to Raby. Raby will ricochet off the near boards and goes back to the left wing. Grizzlies get it. Jamison skates towards the right circle. I looked for a shot, but it bounced off the stick of a Greenville defenseman, and it flies out of play with 11:07 left in the third. So the Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw after Greenville scored a power play goals. We're back to 5-on-5 skating, and just one of those, just kind of a strange-looking play out in front of the net. And really, it's kind of why you put the puck out in front of the net. You want to get it out there because, with all those bodies, who knows what's going to happen. And Greenville ended up with a power play goal. As the Swamp Rabbits in their own zone win the face-off, Grizzlies take it away as Raby skates around the net. I like to feed it out in front to Wright, who's on the hat trick watch. It bounced off of Wright and goes back to the Swamp Rabbits. Greenville crosses center, left wing. They dump it in as Martin cuts it off in front of Parikh. As Martin will lift it towards the near side as the linesman gets out of the way. No icing on the play as Cameron Wright won the foot race. Now the arm is raised by the referee as Wright got spun around, and Cameron Wright says he got hit with a high stick, and the referee is looking at Cameron Wright to see if blood is drawn, and it looks like it's going to be, 2 minutes. So the Grizzlies are going to be back on the power play for the 4th time as Cameron Wright's effort and hustle drew that penalty as he won a foot race to negate icing, skated over to the far corner, then got hit with a high stick, and the referee was in the right place to make the right call as there's 10:41 left in the third period. As Utah's back on the power play, they are 1 for 3 on the power play tonight, and Cameron Wright might be instrumental. He might be the guy to look for from the left to right circle here on this power play. It's a draw won by the Grizzlies. It's 3-2 Utah. Right point, Nilsson feeds to the right side as the Grizz get it around to Pfizer. He's in the left corner. Pfizer skates back towards the point as he gets held up near the boards. Cam Strong in the area, back to Pfizer. Now ahead to right, over to Nilsson. One-timer, and it goes wide to Rennick. He might have gotten a piece of it, and the puck ends up flying out of play. As 20 seconds into the power play, Andrew Nilsson had a good look from the right side, but it bounced off of Rennick and flew out of play. And that's really the guy you want to look for finishing in the circle is Andrew Nilsson, who's got that lethal shot.
And that's an NHL type shot, folks. And the indicator of that is it's so hot coming in that the goalie can't contain it, and you get all kind of rebounds.
Greenville wins the draw. They skate around their net. Cam Strong gets the puck. He's got a goal and an assist tonight as he'll feed it to the right side. Pfizer across the right. He'll take a shot on it. Got redirected off a Greenville stick. Goes back to the right side. Pfizer over to Nilsson, who faked it to right. He'll move it ahead to Pfizer. He's in the right circle. It takes a shot, and it's blocked. Puck rolls back to Pfizer. Now Cam Strong gets it right side. I try to feather it across to right. Greenville picks it off, and they'll bounce it off of Grizzlies. It goes towards the near corner. Jamison in the area. Cam Strong gets knocked down. Jamison Strong with the puck as he gets hit behind the net. Greenville gets it, and they'll bounce it off of Grizzly, and it goes out to neutral ice. It bounced off of Pfizer. He gets the puck back. He'll move it ahead as the Grizzlies start to make a line change. Right, we'll throw it towards his right, towards Jamison. Now the Grizzlies enter the offensive zone. Jamison gets held up. Now Greenville gets it and clears it out. 50 seconds and counting left in Utah's 4th power play of the game. Utah leads 3-2. 9:25 and counting left in the third. Nilsson gains center ice. He gets it poked away, and Greenville gathers it and dumps it in from center ice. On to Parikh behind the net. Lucas will throw it to the far side. 30 seconds left in the Grizzlies' power plays. Bryson Martin skates down the middle. Now he gets around Raby, crosses center ice. Martin chips it to the corner. He gets around 3 Swamp Rabbits. Martin gets blasted along the end walls. The glass shakes. Fitz over there battling. Now another Grizzly skates over in the corners. We got a big-time rugby scrum, easy for me to say, over in the near corner. 10 seconds left in the Utah power play as Lord Anthony Grissom pushes it against Dylan Fitz's back. Puck still in the corner. Now Greenville skates out of the pile with the puck. Bobby Russell clears it out. And so that will do it for Utah's power plays. Greenville's out of the box. 8:33 and counting left in the third. Utah leads 3-2. Grizz Carried out to center ice, left wing. Utah will chip it in. Does Jordan Martell. This goes back towards the left corner. Martell delivers a big-time hit. As the puck's still in the corner, Dillon fits in the area, but Greenville moves it out to center ice. Greenville, right wing, will carry it across the offensive line. As they'll fire a right wing shot, stick saved by Parikh. That was taken by Ethan Samaja, who wears number 16. As the Grizzlies, Michalchuk dumps it in, but he dumped it in from Grizzlies territory. However, there's no icing, so both teams make a line change. Less than 8 minutes left in regulation. As Greenville skates towards the near side, now they'll glide it across. Greenville moves it out to center ice. Pass picked off by Penner. He'll drop it off to Michalchuk. He's on the left side, skates towards the corner. Michalchuk gets hit and falls down. He gets back to his feet, but a little bit slowly. As Brett Kemp, I want to call him Bobby Kemp for some reason, feeds over to the right side. Greenville skates towards the right circle. As Irulo looked to center to bounce off a body, and Aaron Tho gets it back. Tho crosses the center ice left wing and drives it around the boards. As Greenville feeds it back to Max Martin, who's been active tonight. Martin will ricochet it off the near boards. It goes to center ice. No icing as skating after it's Aaron Tho deep in the Grizzlies zone. Tho will throw it to the corner that he vacated. Dakota Raby gets it. Raby's been outstanding in his first game back. He's got 2 assists. He'll move it ahead as the Grizzlies cross center. Greenville takes it away from behind. It's a Swamp Rabbits to the right side. Samaja gets it poked away by Jamison. Jamison gets it, skates towards the left circle. He'll skate towards the corner. He gets hit and goes down. Right skates over there. He gets pinned towards the wall. Less than 7 minutes left in the third period. Utah's still up 3-2. Right gets the puck. He'll throw it out to the left point. Bouncing puck awkwardly. Bryson Martin baseball bats it out to the right circle. Grizzlies looking for some insurance. Martin to the left side gets cut off by Ethan Kapp of Greenville. Now the puck goes to the far side and nudging it out to center is the Swamp Rabbits, but the Grizzlies get it back. Utah skates down the middle. Cameron Wright skates towards the left circle, gets around a skater, takes a shot. Saved by Rennick. Swamp Rabbits couldn't clear it out. Right side, Grizzlies get it across to Martin. He'll take a lefty shot. Kick saved by Rennick. As Lord Anthony Grissom will drive it ahead. Greenville crosses center ice. Nutbar gains the line and dumps it into the corner. As Martin delivers a hit, Nutbar gets it. He'll skate around his net, around the Utah net. Pouncey pokes it away. Martin gets back checked by Nutbar. Pouncey takes it. He'll skate towards the near corner. As the Swamp Rabbits looking to tie up the game as they skate towards the right circle. Now they feed it up top. Now a righty shot and it's blocked in front of Parikh. Grizzlies throw it out to center ice. Utah chasing after it. And Taryn Pfizer cuts around a Greenville skater over in the corner. Pouncey, Penner over there as well. He gets pushed. Penner, the Colgate product. He went to college with Josh McKechnie at Colgate. McKechnie's got with a third period goal. Pfizer gets the puck. He'll throw it to the right circle. Lefty shot. Saved by Rennick as the puck glides towards the near side. Now, sure, left wing will feed it around the boards. Taken back by Greenville. 5:22 and counting left in the third. Utah's up 3-2. Swamp Rabbits spread the ice as they'll throw a right wing pass out to center for Nutbar. Nutbar leads their team in penalty minutes. He'll skate towards the right circle. Shot saved by Parikh in the butterfly position as it goes back to Greenville as they get it poked away by Fitz. Greenville skates towards the circle. Nilsson with a good poke check as the Grizz come up with the puck. Utah neutralized, gets back checked, and they get held up. Now Nilsson takes the puck and crosses center as Fitz got held up and lost his stick. Nilsson skates towards the left wing, crosses center ice, and dumps it in. As Greenville with the puck with 4:48 and counting left in the third. Swamp Rabbits skate from left to right as we see it on Flow Sports. They cross center ice. They try to chip it over to Kemp, and it bounced off a Grizzly body. Back to neutral ice. Greenville dumps it back in. Tho trying to locate the puck. He does. He skates around a Swamp Rabbit. Now moving out to center ice. As the puck glides back towards Tho. He'll hit it off a Swamp Rabbit. Now skating in strong. Left side shot. Saved by Rennick. And he holds on with 4:24 left in the third. We're back in 30 seconds to find out how this one ends as Utah's up 3-2 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Utah leads 3-2, 4:24 left in the third. What have you seen here in the last few minutes of play?
That was much ado about nothing. That was a lot of good nothing that happened, and now we're down to the 4:24 mark, and we're still one up. So the shots have increased by the Swamp Rabbits. We're noticing a little bit more pressure from them coming in. Expect that as the last little bit. Next 2 minutes, you're going to start seeing defensemen cheat in. You're going to start seeing the centermen cheat in, and as long as the Grizzlies can withstand that push, we should be able to get some counter opportunities against, and maybe even a couple breakaways here and there. But Swamp Rabbits are going to have to do something here within the next 2 minutes, Jane, to change the score.
Hey, much ado about nothing's good for the Grizzlies. They're the ones that have the 3-2 lead. Cam Strong will take the draw against McKechnie, who scored a third-period goal. McKechnie was a college teammate of Tyler Penner's at Colgate. As the Swamp Rabbits win the face-off, they'll throw it out to center ice near the Grizzlies bench. Now throw it to the slot. Swamp Rabbits skate down the middle, take a righty shot. A save by Preek as rebound goes towards the far side. 4:07 and counting left in the third. Action behind Utah's net as the Swamp Rabbits back to the left side. Now far goal line. Now they'll bounce it off of Preek as rolls back towards the left circle. Martel gets it and they'll move it ahead. Grizzlies to the right wing, spin it along the boards. Simeone in the area, as Aaron Tho as well. As Simeone battles with three Swamp Rabbits, Tho gets held up along the boards by Grissom. As skating over there to surveys Shearer. Puck comes out of the corner, and Utah has it. As now Shearer gets pinned along the boards. Simeone pushes Greenville. Jamison, as it rolled back towards the far side, was Jamison and not Shearer. As Greenville moves it off the screen. And it goes deep into the Grizzlies zone, and icing is going to be on the Swamp Rabbits with 3:17 left in the third. So as Tim Broussard mentioned, much to do about nothing would be good for the Grizzlies. They would like some insurance here, and you wonder if we're about a minute and a half away from Greenville head coach Andrew Lord pulling his goaltender for the extra skater. So it's important for the Grizzlies to keep it in the offensive zone, win some faceoffs, and see if they can find a way to maybe get that insurance and extend the lead as Utah is looking to end their losing streak at 5. Greenville's won 3 in a row. They win the faceoff. They'll lift it high into the air as it goes between the Grizzlies defensemen. And it looks like it's going to be another icing on the Swamp Rabbits with 3:09 left in the third. Cameron Wright's got 2 goals. Connor McDonald and Dakota Raby have 2 assists. And Cam Strong has 1 goal and 1 assist. So a lot of key contributors for the Grizzlies here so far tonight. Dallas Gerads leads their club with 6 shots. Tanner Eberle and Josh McKechnie have the Greenville goals. Draws in the far circle, and it's won by the Grizzlies. Shearer in the left point. He'll throw it to the near goal line as Jamison gets pushed. Greenville looking for the puck as it stays at Jamison's ankles. Jamison skates towards the near side. They'll feed it up top for Shearer. Now Nilsson, right side, shot goes wide. As the Swamp Rabbits over in the near corner, move it ahead, but the Grizzlies get it back to Cameron Wright. Wright gets tripped up. Is there a call being made? No, there's none. There is none. Like Wright looked like he got held up pretty good. He argues the case. Greenville crosses center ice. Swamp Rabbits left side, shot blocked by Nilsson. Now Greenville will hit the side of the net as they try to center it. Taken back by Utah, who skates around their net. Dakota Raby feeds it to the far side for Nilsson. Andrew gets it to Shearer. 2.5 minutes left in the third. Shearer moves it ahead. Greenville gathers it in their own zone. Grizzlies make a line changes. Greenville throws to the right wing. Now the Swamp Rabbits move it to the right circle. Greenville looked to center. It bounced off the stick of Pfizer. Utah gets it out to center ice for Penner. Penner over to Pfizer. Skates down the middle. He gets held up. Puck glides towards Rennick, who throws an outlet pass towards the near side. Aaron Tho, left point, will dump it back in. Greenville gathers it about 2 minutes left in regulation. Utah leads 3-2. Greenville crosses center ice. They'll roll it around the wall as Pfizer trips up Greenville, and that call's not made. As Greenville arguing their case there. Now the Swamp Rabbits get it back to Eberle. He'll take a shot. Pad save by Parikh. Rebound to the near side. Pfizer will clear the zone. It looks like it's going to be icing on the Grizzlies. 1:43 left in the third as Utah leads 3-2. Well, I thought Cameron Wright got tripped, got held up on the left side, no call, and then it looked like the Grizzlies got away with one in their zone over on the far side. And I was expecting Pfizer to get a penalty, and luckily he got away with it. Looks like the officials are letting them play for the most part here in the third.
Yeah, unlike the Super Bowl, this is kind of nice.
I guess those officials saw the Super Bowl and said, we're just going to let them play here towards the end. 1:43 is left in the third after Utah got called for icing. And the draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Lucas Parik's been outstanding here so far tonight as he's looking for his 5th win. And it looks like Greenville has used their timeout. What do the Grizzlies need to do to secure victory here in the last minute 43?
Be judicious about your chances. It's okay if you take it into the boards. I've seen it 3 different times, the scrums at the 4:10 mark, 3:40 mark, 3 mark. Just bring it into the corner and just start eating time. Watch for Dakota Raby to be able to just jump in the passing lanes and take off. Watch for Pinner. He's going to need some offensive zone face-off wins here. This is crunch time right here, and within the next 30 seconds or so, you're going to see Andrew Lord pull his goalie and bring in another offensive threat and see what they can do to score.
The 2 gold Colgate products, college teammates Josh McKechnie taking the draw against Tyler Penner. This faceoff is won by Greenville. As the puck over to the far side, they feed it to the corner. Grizzlies battle. Penner gets the puck, and he'll bounce it off a Swamp Rabbit. Pfizer has to go back to the corner. McDonald over there as well. Pfizer hacking away. Pfizer gets blasted in the corner. Penner will chip it off the wall. Now goes to the left side as Greenville's net is empty. 6-on-5. 1:17 left in the third. Over in the high slot. They feed it over to the right side for Irulo. He'll throw it to the near goal line. Now they try to get it back to Irulo. Cutting in front, still in Fitz. He'll throw it to the right side. Greenville keeps it in the zone. Irulo over in the right corner trying to get to Kemp, and it bounced off the Penner stick. Now the Grizzlies throw it out towards center. Net is empty. Dylan Fitz fires towards the empty net, and he scores! His baby's in the refrigerator as Dylan Fitz scores on the empty net to get his 9th of the season, and Utah is taking a 4-2 lead. Boy, winning those 50-50 battles along the corners were certainly key to the Grizzlies getting it. And what a play by Dylan Fitz, cutting in front of the pass in the corner as he knew that they were looking for Irulo. Grizzlies skated out to center ice. Fitz got the puck, and he fired away from neutral ice. And, boy, what a victory for the Grizzlies that they're able to hold on here. And great job by the Grizzlies defensive unit, not letting Greenville get that good look to tie the game.
Yeah, it came down to the 50-50 pucks, and that's what it took to earn it. So, there's still a minute to go. They're down by, Greenville's down by 2. If they can just play some smart hockey here, they'll walk away winners.
Grizzlies won the draw out to center ice, and they look like they carried into the zone, but it looks like Utah's offside with 50 seconds left here in the third. Great defensive effort by the Grizzlies tonight. As Dylan Fitz gets the empty netter as he scored from neutral ice, they might put an assist to somebody. But the Grizzlies, when they needed it the most, were able to come through with a great defensive effort here in the third period. As the draw at center ice is won by the Grizzlies, they'll carry it back into their own zone and play a game of keep away. As James Scherer moves it out to center ice, as Greenville's goaltender is in net. Grizzlies cross center and dump it in as Max Martin skates around his net. He'll throw it out to neutral ice. Now Greenville gets cut off as they're skating into the offensive zone. Grizzlies will move it out to center again as the Grizz cross center. As Jamison fires it in, and it bounces off the end wall. 22 seconds left in the third as the Grizzlies' 5-game losing streak is going to come to an end as Greenville throws it out to the right side. It bounced off the boards, goes deep in the Grizzlies zone. Chasing after it, Scherer will throw it across. 10 seconds left. Greenville skates towards the left corner. Now around the net. Greenville centering pass, shot and a score. And that's Ben Freeman scoring with 4.3 seconds left. It's going to be too little too late, but Greenville finds a way to score in the final minute. As there's 4 seconds left in the third, Cameron Wright doing a little bit of jawing at Greenville as Ben Freeman gets his 5th of the season, but it might be a little too late. 4.3 seconds left, and the only thing that's going to matter there is the margin, as it's the Grizzlies 4 and the Swamp Rabbits 3. So draw is going to be at center ice. Really no chance for Greenville. I mean, is there just enough time where they can win a face-off and skate in and fire away? Even then, it'd have to be from near the blue line, I'd imagine. Looks like they put a little bit of extra time, 5 seconds exactly left in the third. Draw won by Greenville. They'll throw it towards the left side, Grizzly, and Greenville dumps into the corner, and that will do it. Grizzlies win. Grizzlies win 4-3, and there is no doubt about it as the 5-game losing streak comes to an end, as the Grizzlies have now won both series meetings against Greenville all time. Utah won 6-4 on February 1st of 2020. And tonight, the Grizzlies get a 4-3 victory as Dylan Fitz got an empty netter, and that turned out to be the game winner. What a game for Cameron Wright, who had 2 goals. Dakota Raby and Connor McDonald each had 2 assists. McDonald was a +3 for the Grizzlies tonight. Fitz's goal right now is listed as unassisted, and Cam Strong had a multiple-point game as he had 1 goal and 1 assist. And Tim Broussard, this is a big win for the Grizzlies. Certainly needed to end the losing streak and get back on the winning road.
Exactly what you wanted, play Grizzlies hockey. The key, I think, was coming out of the first period 0-0. So they went into the second period, not down into the hole. They scored first. And then from there, just incrementally kept ratcheting up a notch. They were physical when they needed to be, exerted their force, and made it count on their opportunities. So all around, really good win.
Post-game show starts in 37 seconds. Once again, the final score, it's the Utah Grizzlies 4 and the Greenville Swamp Rabbits 3. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey, presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
3 of our 4 goals were even strength. Good job, boys.
It's the Grizzlies 4 and the Swamp Rabbits 3. And 3 of the 4 Grizzlies goals scored 5-on-5. That's certainly big. When you think about what the Grizzlies needed to do to get a victory, they needed to generate some offense, score 3 or more goals, and they were able to get 4. Cameron Wright certainly came through with 2 goals, and the Grizzlies really found a way, and Lucas Preek was solid in net as he gets his 5th victory of the season. Let's recap the score, and then we'll talk with Tim Broussard and get his thoughts on things. Utah scored first tonight. They're now 13-3 when scoring first this season. Cam Strong, 1:48 into the second period. He redirected a Connor McDonald shot. McDonald with an assist, and so did Dakota Raby, as the Grizzlies scored 5-on-5, 1:48 into the second period to take a 1-0 lead. Greenville tied it up as Tanner Eberle scored his 20th of the season. The assist went to Ben Freeman. Freeman had a pretty good game as he ended up with 1 goal and 1 assist. That tied it up at 1. Grizzlies retook the lead 2-1 as Cameron Wright scored from the left side. Jamison was out in front trying to redirect it, but he didn't get a piece of it. Wright gets his first of 2 goals tonight, and it's his 5th power play tally of the season. Jamison and Cam Strong with the assists. Utah went 1 for 4 on the power play, and they took a 2-1 lead. 17:31 into the second period. Utah led 2-1 after 2 periods. The Grizzlies are now 15-1 when leading after 2 periods this season. So, scoring first is certainly big for the Grizzlies. It has been all year. As when scoring first, the Grizzlies, as we mentioned, are 13-3, and when leading after 2, the Grizzlies are now 15-1. So it's big for the Grizzlies to really play with the lead, and they were able to do that. Then the Grizzlies got a little bit of insurance as Cameron Wright scored 6:33 into the third period, but Dakota Raby's really the one that made the play as Raby just kind of skated around everybody, ended up around the net, behind the net, just bounced it off of the pads of the Greenville goaltender Rennick, and then Cameron Wright was out in front to get the rebound and put it away for a second of the game and 15th of the season. That gave the Grizzlies a little bit of breathing room, and they certainly needed it as Greenville scored early in a power play as Josh McKechnie got his 8th of the season. Alex Irulo and Anthony Beauchamp with the assists. They ended up going to video replay to see if there was goaltender interference, but they kept the goal, and so Utah led 3-2, and it was a 3-2 game for almost the entire second half of the third period. Greenville had emptied their nets, and they ended up winning the faceoff, but then the Grizzlies defensively did a good job not letting Greenville get that good look to tie the game. Puck ended up in neutral ice, and Dylan Fitz skated in, got the puck, and fired away from neutral ice just outside the offensive blue line and scored his 9th of the season. Right now it's listed as unassisted as he scored with 57 seconds left in the third. And boy, it's good that he did that because Greenville scored with 4 seconds left in regulation as Ben Freeman scored from the left side, 19:56 in, with the assist going to Carter Such. Such got his 12th assist of the season. He was a +2 for Greenville. He was the only guy that was more than a +1 for the Swamp Rabbits. And so that goal was scored 5-on-6 as the net was empty for Greenville. So it was a 5-on-6 goal that was scored by the Swamp Rabbits, or really 6-on-5 because they were the ones that scored. And so, you think about the Grizzlies, it was like a little too late for Greenville scoring that goal. And so Fitz, it was certainly big to get the empty netter. And Wait, think about the Grizzlies needing those 2 insurance goals in the third period. And it's unfortunate they needed that last one with Fitz because Greenville was able to tie it up. But, it was just a little bit too late in regulation for the Swamp Rabbits to really do anything. They won the face-off in the last 4 minutes, got into the offensive zone, but it didn't really matter as time had run out on the Swamp Rabbits. And for the Grizzlies, the 5-game losing streak comes to an end as they pick up their first victory in the month of February, and Utah gets their 11th road win of the season. They are now 11-13-2 on the road, and they really beat a good team. Greenville right now, ends their 3-game winning streak, and the Swamp Rabbits are now 8-3 in their last 11 games. But you think about a club that had a .656 winning percentage coming into play tonight. You had a midweek game. Swamp Rabbits have been pretty good at home. And for the Grizzlies to come out with the effort that they did, playing just about even in the first period, really dominated the second half of the first period, coming out scoring first, playing with the lead, and the Grizzlies coming away with the 2 standings points. I think that's good because we've got exactly 2 months left in the regular season. It's April 15th, which is Jackie Robinson Day in Major League Baseball. That's the final game of the ECHL regular season. The Grizzlies will play the Tulsa Oilers at Maverick Center. So we got 2 months left. And, for the Grizzlies, you hope a road victory like this against a good team really jumpstarts things for the rest of the year.
Right. And we talked about what were the keys to victory beforehand, and what do they need to, not just have a good game, but to win the game, and not just win the game, but in the losing streak. And I think really that first 10, 15 minutes was the key to everything. They didn't score against. Lucas Perique played out of his mind, flying poke checks and, throwing his body out there and stick and anything else he could find, just until, we were getting outshot 9-3 at the time. And just, we had, key contributors all throughout the game, like Dakota Raby, who was getting out there and just giving us a little bit of breathing room so we could at least get a line change in or something like that. Then things started to change at, like I said, the 6:50 mark. Then the tone of the game kind of became more in check. And then from there, we ended up the first period at 0-0, but that was a moral victory for the Grizzlies, because the way that we've been coming out of the first, we've been, a point or 2 down, and then going into the second, we're already having to change strategy a little bit because now we're behind the curve. I think that set the tone for the rest of the game, and in even going forward larger than that, the rest of this series, and then even back here, this is what it's going to take to get through. We're going to have to normalize up front. We can't let teams jump on us early. We're going to have to get that jump, or at least end up neutral at the end of the first, and not let, going into the second where we're already, down a point or 2.
It was a Cam and Cameron show. Cam Strong had 1 goal and 1 assist, and Cameron Wright had 2 goals. And you knew those 2 guys were going to have to step up for the Grizzlies, and they did that tonight. You had mentioned Dakota Raby and the impact that he had. I don't think it's just a coincidence that, you think about him playing the first 40 games of the season. He gets hurt on January 28th, didn't play the last 5 games, and the Grizzlies lost all 5 of them. And I don't know that we necessarily knew about the impact that Dakota Raby had until tonight, because 2 assists, and he was all over the place. It just seemed like he played a lot of minutes, and he was impactful in just about every shift he was in there. It wasn't just the 2 assists, and it wasn't just the speed. It was just he always seemed to be in the right place at the right time, and really just kind of his aggressiveness and his energy, I think, fed off on the rest of the team tonight, and I think he was a big contributor to the Grizzlies getting the victory.
Absolutely, no doubt. And they list up on here on the 3 stars. I'll let you read it, but it's too bad Dakota Raby didn't make it up on there, because I don't think we would have gotten out of the first without his efforts and all that. It just seemed like he was that spark plug when we needed it, the go-to guy that was getting it done.
The 3 stars of the game, number 3 star is Ben Freeman, who had 1 goal and 1 assist. He had 3 shots and was a +1. Freeman won a lot of faceoffs as well for Greenville, and he's the number 3 star of the game. The number 2 star is Lucas Perique, who gets his 5th victory of the season. He stopped 29 of 32, but remember the last one was scored with 4 seconds left in regulation, and the other third period goal was one of those strange ones that bounced off a few people, and then Perique just kind of got pushed into the back of his net. And then, coming in is McKechnie to score. And otherwise, I thought he had an outstanding game. Perique stopping 29 of 32. He's the number 2 star of the game, excuse me. The number 1 star is Cameron Wright, who scored 2 goals. For a second, I thought he'd have the game winner until until Greenville scored at the very end. Cameron Wright's got 6 game-winning goals this season, which are tied for the league lead. And it looked like for a while he would have had that game winner until Greenville scored with 4 seconds left in regulation. Either way, Cameron Wright, who had 12 shots and 1 goal on Saturday, he led the way with 8 shots and had 2 goals for the Grizzlies here tonight. Cameron Wright is the number 1 star of the game. Last season, he won a national championship at the University of Denver. And this season, he's been outstanding in his first year as a pro. And for Cameron Wright, he now has 35 points this season. And Andrew Nilsson did not score a point. And so Cameron Wright is now tied with Andrew Nilsson for the team lead, as both guys have 35 points this season. Wright leads the Grizzlies with 15 goals, and Andrew Nilsson leads the Grizz with 27 assists this season. So you're talking about 2 guys that have really been critical to the Grizzlies' success that they have had here so far this season. Cameron Wright as a forward and Andrew Nilsson as a defenseman. And even though Nilsson did have Utah's only penalty of the game, he played another solid contest. Didn't get a point, though, so he just has a point in 7 of his last 10 games. But, you're thinking about, down the stretch, last 2 months of the regular season, if the Grizzlies can get that sort of performance from Cameron Wright, and if Cam Strong can play like he did here tonight, I mean, Strong has had some moments this season where he's looked really good, and he might be one of Utah's fastest and quickest players. He goes from 0 to 60 in a hurry. And when you think about Dakota Raby coming back from injury and the captain, Connor McDonald, with 2 assists, McDonald was a +3 for the Grizz, which led all skaters, in the plus-minus category tonight. If the Grizzlies play like they did tonight, they're going to be a tough team to beat in the final 2 months of the regular season.
Right. It's really up to the Grizzlies to obviously. I mean, but I think what's key is we won an even strength battle here.
Yeah.
We were on the plus side 5 of this. That hasn't happened that many games this year, folks. That's been a struggle. That's one of the biggest difference between this year and last year is the success or lack of success, even strength. And then to 3 out of the 4 goals, even strength. Okay, we'll take it. That's a moral victory, folks.
I'd probably say 2 of the the one was an empty netter, so it's like 5 on 6. You're pretty much shorthanded at that point.
Right. It shows at the very least, you're showing your team what level of effort is it going to take to be successful and to win. And remember, this is crunch time, folks. So this is do or die. You're in the middle, if not the bottom of the pack in the mountain. You've got to figure out a way to make the playoffs, just make the playoffs. And so if you end up in 4th place in the playoffs, who's going to be waiting for you? Idaho. So, if you want to at least make it to the 2nd round of the playoffs, it behooves you to kind of step up your game a little bit and see if you can get that 3rd seed at least.
It looks like the standings, based on what we're seeing on the scoreboard, looks like they're going Utah's way. The Grizz now have 42 standings points this season and are in 6th place in the Mountain Division. Rapid City's in 5th place. They lost 5-1 today to Toledo. So the Grizzlies ended up gaining 2 points on Rapid City. And Allen, through 2 periods tonight, they're home against the defending champion Florida Everblades, and Florida leads 6-2. So Allen right now is tied for 4th with Rapid City. Both teams have 45 standings points. So the Grizzlies look like they're going to gain 2 standings points on both Allen and Rapid City tonight and inch closer into that 4th spot. And that's important because the top 4 teams in each division make the playoffs. So not only did the Grizzlies win, but it looks like they're gaining standings points tonight. 2 points, in fact, in front, to creep a little bit closer to Allen and Rapid City for that 4th playoff spot.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want. It's gratuitous that we, the other teams lost and we're moving up, but at some point, you got to take it into your own hands. I mean, we've had the less than successful efforts from the AHLers coming down, and they haven't performed like we got accustomed to last year, and we haven't seen that level of success, especially even strength this year. So hopefully this will be that conglomerate effort. Hey, we had an outstanding performance by our goalie, kept it in through the 1st and throughout the rest of the 2nd, and did great throughout the whole game. We saw major key contributors by Raby setting the tone early and then being rewarded with success. And then we saw Cameron Wright, number 1 shot taker in the ECHL for rookies, score twice. So we've got that recipe. We just need to continue this throughout the rest of this, especially the rest of this road streak, and then back into their homestand against Allen.
Yeah, it's going to be big when the Grizzlies are home against the Allen Americans. Don't forget that Friday and Saturday, February 24th and 25th, is Grizzlies Fight Cancer Weekend. In fact, the Grizzlies are going to be wearing the jersey that I'm wearing tonight. I'm wearing the Grizzlies Fight Cancer jersey. You can see on YouTube as it's got names of those that have been impacted by cancer. In fact, I think my mom's name is right over here. She passed away a couple months ago. And so this is what the Grizzlies are going to be wearing next week. That's going to be the second and third game of the Allen series. Don't forget the Grizzlies' next home game will be a Bud Light College night on Wednesday, February 22nd. So exactly 1 week from now. And then Grizzlies Fight Cancer Weekend will be February 24th and 25th. Don't forget that Friday is going to be an AFCU Friday where tickets start just $8 and you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverick Center box office. And Grizzlies Fight Cancer Weekend presented by Mountain Land Supply Company is certainly going to be big. And hopefully we'll have big crowds. And don't forget what happened the last time the Allen Americans were at Maverick Center. 96 penalty minutes by the Grizzlies and 50 by Allen, the top two penalty teams in the league. And it's going to get physical, I imagine. And so you're going to want to make sure you get a ticket. Who knows what game it's going to get a little bit out of hand. Could it be the Wednesday game? Could it be the Friday or the Saturday? I get a ticket for all three games just because it seems like they're all going to be must-see TV, right. Must-attend games, must-see on Flow Sports. And if you're the Grizzlies, you look at the standings. I mean, Allen looks like they're going to lose tonight. They're down by 4 in the second intermission. These are going to be critical games. The next homestand for the Grizzlies in order to climb back into a playoff spot. And think about tonight on paper. Greenville is probably the best on paper in terms of the standings of the three teams Utah's playing in this road trip. They already played Rapid City, obviously, but you think about, the next three games. They take on Savannah on Friday. And the Ghost Pirates, even though they're 4-4-1-1 in their last 10 games, they're in last place in the South Division. And in sixth place in the South Division is the Orlando Solar Bears. Looks like Orlando's been just about as good on the road as they've been at home this season. And the Grizzlies will face Orlando on Sunday and Monday. But the next opponent for the Grizzlies will be the Savannah Ghost Pirates on Friday night. Pre-game coverage at 5:15, face-off about 5:30. And it'll be the first ever meeting between the Grizzlies and Savannah Ghost Pirates. Tonight was the second all-time meeting between the Grizzlies and the Swamp Rabbits. Utah is now 2-0 all-time against Greenville. As on February 1st of 2020, Utah won 6-4. Tonight, it was a close 4-3 battle. And, it's a good thing the Grizzlies got that empty netter at the end as Greenville scored with 4 seconds left. But Lucas Preet gets the victory in net. His record goes to 5-8 on the year. And Tim, with 2 months left in the regular season, it's good to get on the winning track, ending the 5-game losing streak against Greenville.
Yep. So, we talked about it and the playoff implications for it and striving not just to get in, but, maybe at least third, hit that third position so that we're not going against Idaho and especially since they would own the homes part of that series. And I'm encouraged by what we've got here on this team. It was nice when we saw the starting rosters come out. We were both looking, where's the scoring coming from? How are we going to shore up the defense? And everybody played their part. And they did the Sean Payton thing. Do your job. Everybody did their job, and they came out with a win. So this is the recipe that they're going to need going forward.
Even though it didn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet, tip of the hat to Bryson Martin and James Sure. I thought those guys were outstanding tonight. Martin probably played one of his best games in a Grizzlies uniform. He played physical, he played decisive, and I thought James Sure did the same here tonight. And even though Sure was a -2, it didn't necessarily look that way. It looked like he played better than that. And even though Martin was an even in the plus-minus, he had 4 shots, and I thought both those defensemen looked strong tonight. And I think the Grizzlies have really gotten some good efforts from Aaron Tho, who was a +2 tonight. Tho scored a goal last Saturday, and it looks like he's played good hockey. And the Grizzlies defensive unit, obviously without Victor Bartley, the Grizzlies defensive unit is going to have to come up strong. And the Grizzlies also without Corey Thomas. So the Grizzlies lose a little bit of size. Thomas might be a couple weeks away from returning. It does look like he's walking, but his lower body injury, and hopefully he'll be back in the Grizzlies lineup soon. But, the Grizzlies defensive unit is certainly going to be critical if they're going to find a way to have a successful month of February and beyond.
Yep, agreed. And my tip of the hat, so definitely the first one would be Raby. Didn't make the 3 stars, but probably second star in my book. And then the other one would be the captain, Connor McDonald, 2 assists and +3, and he managed to get a shot. But just keeping because as a captain, it's not just your responsibility. You have responsibility of your team and making sure nobody gets down or everybody's doing their, picking up their assignments and doing what they're supposed to do. So on two fronts, he did outstanding as a player and obviously kept everybody in line and outstanding as a leader. So that'd be my second tip of the hat.
Well, how about wrap things up as we're hanging out in the lobby at Maverick Center? It's fun to have you stop by as Guy Carenza is on assignment here for the rest of the road trip. Tim, it was great to have you here joining us for the broadcast.
I appreciate it, Tyson. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Once again, in 2 hours and 31 minutes and in front of 2,472. Cam Strong had 1 goal and 1 assist. He got the Optum first goal of the game. Optum is committed to making healthcare work better, leading the way to better experiences, better health, and lower costs for you. This broadcast is presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott, producing premier American copper and proudly celebrating 120 years of operations in the Utah community. Cameron Wright had 2 goals. Cam Strong, 1 goal and 1 assist, and 2 assists from Connor McDonald and Dakota Raby. And Lucas Preet gets his 5th victory of the season. Crowd tonight, 2,472 over at Bon Secours Wellness Arena. The Grizzlies will be on the road as they'll take on the Savannah Ghost Pirates. They'll stay in the Eastern time zone, and they'll drive tomorrow to Savannah. It'll be the first ever meeting between the Grizzlies and the Ghost Pirates as Savannah is in their first season of existence. For Tim Broussard, I'm Tyson Whiting, and it is what it is. We'll talk to you on Friday night, as this has been the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott.